Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. This is one of the most exciting energy shifts in 12 years. Oh my God, it's going to be so helpful. What's it going to do in your life? This week, the energy focus we're looking at is Jupiter into Cancer. This is happening on June the 9th, 2025, all the way. It's going to last all the way until June the 30th, 2026. My friends, please don't take all the work that I do for you here for free each week on YouTube for granted, as so many people seem to do in the comments every week. Please like, share, or subscribe on your social media channels for my videos here and all the videos I release on social media as well. And if you do, you go into the draw every month to win a solar return report. And the winner for the month of May is Divna Filipova. That's Divna Filipova. So Divna, you have won yourself a solar return reading report from me, and I'll be contacting you to arrange your free reading in the week ahead. Thank you for sharing my video to your social media channels. I really appreciate it. Now, the good news, let's get on with this energy. It's so exciting. The good news, my friends, is that as this year progresses from June to June 2025 to June 2026, things are just going to get better and better and better. This is what I'm going to talk about in the introduction to this video. You don't want to miss it. It's all good news. Fantastic. I will just say I've been sick for a few weeks and I'm going to do my best to get through this without too much coughing or spluttering or too many breaks in the video, but bear with me as I am in the process of recovering. Ever since Saturn left Pisces, he sort of wound up his time there for me in the house of my body with a bit of sickness, just to say, see you later, Kesenya, as he left. Thanks, Saturn. Anyhow, we're not talking about Saturn so much this week. We are talking about Jupiter in Cancer. Let's talk about what that looks like. Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. Now that means that he's at his full power, full blessing, best expression. His electromagnetism is moving through the ether most strongly. Let's take a quick moment to understand Jupiter in Cancer impacts and how we will feel it in our lives. Firstly, Cancer is all about our emotions and our emotional foundation for life. With Jupiter here in the sign of Cancer, we're going to attract the most good fortune in our lives for the next year when we tap into Jupiter energy. Jupiter emotional energy is our compassion, our compassionate heart, our generous heart, our desire to give charity and help people who are in need. This is Jupiter energy here in the sign of Cancer. Now, also on this topic of emotion and Jupiter, your emotional intelligence is going to be the key that unlocks the answers to any problems in your life now. So it's a good idea to use your charity, use your generosity, use your emotional intelligence to bless others, and you will find that your emotional well-being will thrive. There's going to be so many opportunities in the coming year for you to give emotional comfort, emotional support to others. There's going to be abundant opportunities to do that. And doing so will help you form tighter bonds in your life with other people, creating a tribe, creating a community, creating a sense of family. This is something I'm going to talk about further in a moment. But our emotional stability, our emotional well-being, and our emotional intelligence will increase under Jupiter's energy here. And this is a gift to all of us. Now, Jupiter and Cancer are both energies of high intuition. So you can expect that you're actually going to cultivate more of your sixth sense now, your inner knowing, your higher wisdom. As I said, it's going to be on fire for the next 13 months. You know, Jupiter rules Pisces, a water sign, and he's currently, he will be transiting Cancer, a water sign as well. Jupiter is most powerful when he is in water energy and fire energy. So we will have an increase in our belief in a higher power, in our moral understanding and our ethical understanding now. We're also going to be able to attract more luck and more rich life experiences through the use of our intuition, through the use of our imagination and our inner knowing, our sixth sense, as well as our compassion, which I've just talked about. Family connections are also represented by Cancer as well. Tribal bonding, intimate communities, these are all ruled by Cancer. Jupiter, forgive me, Jupiter will no doubt bring expansion to all those areas of life, not lice. Now, in sort of a non-literal type of understanding, we might find that over the next year, we find our tribe. So not our literal blood family, but our non-literal family, like our people, our group, the people who we feel like, when we're around, people that feel like coming home for us, you know? That best friend that just takes the edge off everything that I'm living, you know, that wonderful group. I think about the film Notting Hill and a lot of those wonderful British movies that came out in the early 2000s. Richard Curtis films especially, they tend to always show a bonding group of friends that's like a family, you know, that get together for dinner once a week or whatever and are always there for life crises and that sort of thing. That's Jupiter in Cancer. So you might find your tribe, your coming home, your Hugh Grant's Notting Hill circle of friends at this time. Now, in a more literal interpretation of Jupiter in Cancer, you might find that family members are coming home again. Maybe your daughter's been overseas for a couple of years and she's coming home. She's going to live with you for a while again. Or your family could literally expand through other channels. Maybe your parents move in because they need more assistance with their daily living at the age of life they're at. Or maybe your family grows through the arrival of new babies in the family. Or new members of the family come in due to getting married or getting engaged. So lots of fun, lots of expansion in a family sense. Even the whole concept of what a family actually is might change and grow and be sort of bigger than what we thought it was during the next year. And this can lead to, as I've kind of already described, bigger communities where everybody feels welcome. Everybody feels a sense of belonging. Everybody feels like, I'm part of this. I can put my roots down here. I love that energy. We all want to find a place where we belong, where we can contribute, where we can live our lives in the best possible sense of belonging. There's no better word for it than that. So this is an exciting component of Jupiter in Cancer, and I can't wait for this. I have a degree in community planning. This is something that really floats my boat. Now, Jupiter not only likes to expand, Jupiter likes to learn. And so here in Cancer, we might be more interested in learning about our genealogy or learning about our family traditions or our cultural traditions. We might be more interested now in our heritage, our roots, our lineage, sort of going back to the past, to our traditional ways and our traditional understandings and trying to incorporate that into our modern lives. Quite an exciting time, wonderful things to learn about. Some of you might be, inspired under this energy to go study archaeology or cultural history or something. That can be very much a Cancer energy as well. Even things like farming, gardening, real estate and property, if you're learning about those sorts of things, and hospitality, these are all Cancer-ruled topics as well. And as I've just mentioned, real estate and land are the domain of Cancer. So personally, you might find that you suddenly get a lot of inspiration or put a lot of value in having a piece of real estate, owning a home, buying a property for yourself or an investment property or something like that. You might be expanding your home. You might be renovating or adding an extra bedroom or something. You might be upsizing your place of living in some way. Jupiter is to expand, remember? It could also be an excellent time to invest in real estate or home improvement projects. Now that's on the personal level. On a collective level, we might see land and real estate prices go through a bit of another hike due to Jupiter's energy of expansion, of price and wealth and prosperity and property. So don't be surprised if you see property prices go up a little during the next year as well. Cancer is also associated with comfort, being comfortable and playing it safe. But it's also a cardinal sign, which means that it prefers to take action rather than sitting around and hoping for security. This is a transit that says, let's make security happen. Now, there are so many ways that we could interpret this, my friends, but with Cancer also representing things from the past, we could look like, mending something rather than buying something new, or restoring something back to its full capacity, its full glory, improving things that aren't working around the home, getting thrifty, and even creating a rainy day bank account for the future by selling off old items that are no longer useful. So Cancer is old things from the past, and Jupiter is looking to the future. That's why we can grow a savings account through perhaps getting rid of old stuff. It's also a fabulous time to establish that pretty garden or grow your own food in some sort of healthy vegetable patch, because that will actually create a sense of security and comfort going forward, knowing that you can provide for your own needs, that you can be somewhat, to some degree, self-sufficient. Now, in Cancer, there are negative manifestations. Let's be realistic here and keep our feet on the ground. We might, with Jupiter in Cancer, expand things in such a way, or get too zealous or go overboard with comfort eating. Comfort eating is a Cancer thing. We have difficult emotions, maybe we're not balanced emotionally, and we reach for the chocolate, or we reach for the bottle of wine, or whatever it happens to be. Comfort eating. We might tend to smother those people who are nearest and dearest to us. Instead of giving them the freedom to fly, we cling like the pincers of the little Cancer crab. We cling on instead of letting go where we should let go. We're smothering. We are too overbearing. Too clingy can be another negative Cancer energy. We might be more inclined to just cocoon ourselves away or stay at home. Instead of stepping out, where stepping out is required. I think about this a lot because in Australia, there's a number of protests going on, particularly in the state where I live, which is Victoria. There's a lot of protests happening by farmers at the moment. Farmers are connected to Cancer energy. They're about land and property development, growing food. And there's a lot of protests that the farmers are undertaking in Victoria at the moment against this overtaxing of farmers. Let me explain to those people who are from other countries. Our ridiculous government has implemented a fire services levy tax, and it's going to impact the farmers and farming communities the most heavily. In some cases, some farmers are going to pay $50,000 in taxes for this levy. But the ridiculous thing is, the farmers don't benefit from the fire services. The farmers are the volunteer firefighters in their area. They are the ones giving the service, and yet they're being taxed horrendous amounts of money. So needless to say, farmers are protesting against the injustice and the inequality of what is going on, which is all a revenue-raising exercise to theoretically recoup money for our economy, which is completely effed because of the lockdowns, which were the most severe in the world that we had back during the COVID years. So that said, I'm talking here about staying at home when we should be stepping out, when stepping out is required. And this is an example. If there's a protest going on in your area, you need to step out, you need to step up to support something that's really, really important, and you say, no, I just don't feel like it today. It's too wet, it's too cold. I'm going to snuggle at home and just look after my territory. Well, then you're actually in the negative Cancer energy, because there is a time and a place for stepping out when it is required. Time and a place for fairness, justice. And I'm using protest as an example. There's many other things. Maybe you decide to stay home instead of going to the family Christmas party because, it's just too much trouble. I don't want to have to deal with everybody, That's another instance of staying home because it's easier instead of stepping out where maybe it's necessary. So that's a negative Cancer energy. I just have to address that one as well. Also, Cancer energy, think about the little crab. It always moves from side to side, never sort of directly forward. It's always like to the side, to the side. And this is representative of sometimes the negative Cancer energy, which can be very manipulative, sort of moving to the side to get what it wants instead of approaching things directly. Instead of being upfront and straightforward, it's kind of manipulating things on the side or having a bit of a whine and a whinge in order to sort of get people's empathy going. Oh, you're a victim. Oh, let me help you. Oh, and that kind of thing. That's a negative expression of Cancer as well. Be aware of that one. So keep perspective, dear friends, for the next year when we're talking about these negative energies. Try to rise above the smallness. Try to rise above victim mentality. Try to rise above clinginess and the little inconveniences of life. And you're going to get, if you do this, you're going to attract all the good energy of Jupiter into your life, so much more than just getting stuck in the negative Jupiter energy. And there's shadow and light in everything, even the great benefic Jupiter. You're going to do much better out of life and receive more blessing, more fortune, more abundance by tapping into the good qualities of Jupiter rather than going down that difficult road. Now let's have a look at the last time Jupiter was in Cancer. It's time to reflect a little, my friends. So get your reflecting hat on, grab your cup of tea and settle in. The last time that Jupiter was transiting Cancer was from June the 25th, 2013, all the way through to July the 16th in 2014. What was happening in your life during that year? Well, the last time that Jupiter was in the area of Cancer, Pluto was in Capricorn, opposing Jupiter. Uranus was in Aries, squaring Jupiter. This, even though Jupiter was exalted, was not an easy transit because of the aspects that were forming to Jupiter. And oh my God, I really found that year particularly tough on an emotional level and a home-based level. I was newly single mumming it and far out. I've been a single mum since 2010, so I'm 3 years into it, but it was like, how long is this going to last? And oh my God, this burden is huge. So even though at that time Saturn and Jupiter were once again in a trine, Saturn was in the sign of Scorpio. This time Saturn sort of doing a bit of a dance around in Pisces and Aries. Even at that time, Saturn and Jupiter were trining one another, and also Neptune was in a trine from Pisces to Jupiter in Cancer as well. That square from from Uranus, and the opposition from Pluto, square from Uranus, was just really tough on this Jupiter energy and didn't come through in as strong and powerful a way as we would otherwise like to see Jupiter doing when he's in his exaltation. Thank God this time we do not have an aspect being made by either Pluto or Uranus during this Jupiter transit of Cancer. So they aren't going to damage this energy, the blessings of Jupiter. And in fact, there is a square from Neptune in Aries that is forming. That's going to end in October. And there is currently a square from from Saturn to Jupiter. That's also, what date's that going to end? That's going to end in September as well. So even though Jupiter in Cancer kicks off with a square from Neptune and Saturn, it's not going to last. And so Jupiter in Cancer, the energy there is going to get better and better and better as he progresses through this sign. The transit of Jupiter in Cancer is going to be so much better than the last time he was here. So think about what was going on in your life and know that if it was good back then, it's going to be even better now. If it was tough back then, things are going to be so much better this time around. Let's take a little bit of time and look at the aspects that Jupiter is going to receive this time and the aspects also that Jupiter is going to give. Now, my friends, my soul has had such relief since Saturn moved out of my first house, Pisces, and into Aries. Let's show that on the board. Yay. Now, at the time that Saturn moved into Aries on the 25th of May, which I talked about 2 weeks ago in my Astro Weather Report. Do check it out if you haven't done so already. Saturn began making a aspect. Saturn stopped squaring Jupiter by sign. So Saturn has been in mutable Pisces. Jupiter has been down here in mutable Gemini. They have been making a sign square and will also very close by degree forming a square as well. Now, this square aspect came to an end on the 25th of May, as I said, when Saturn moved into Aries. But you know what it did? It actually formed a Vedic aspect from Saturn to Jupiter while Jupiter was in Gemini. So again, we haven't stopped this difficult, heavy energy. It's still at play, whether you're looking at it through the Tajika aspects, the 90-degree square, or you're looking at it through the aspect through Vedic aspects. I'll talk a little bit more about Vedic aspects in a minute. But all that's happened is that, what will happen is when Jupiter goes into Cancer on the 9th of June, then the square aspect by sign will come to bear again. But this time it's going to be in cardinal energy instead of mutable energy. So for the last year or so, Saturn and Jupiter have been squaring one another through mutable Pisces and mutable Gemini. And from the 9th, when Jupiter goes into Cancer, they will start squaring one another again, but in cardinal energy. Now, both mutable and cardinal energies are about change. But when there's a square, the change is coming in, but it comes with labor pains, birth pains. It doesn't sort of come in easily. There might be a problem to solve, or a person to deal with, or an issue to, problems to iron out and set straight before the new beginning can fully flourish. So that's what's been going on for the last year, when these two have been squaring one another by mutable sign, and after June the 9th, it's still going to be there because of the square aspect between Saturn and Jupiter, but this time in cardinal. So I hope that that makes sense. Now, the Jupiter-Saturn cycles are fascinating to watch. They last 20 years, and it's a 20-year pattern. It actually governs so much of what we experience as individuals in life on Earth, and also collectively as well. Now, on that topic, my amazing student from the Royal Stars Academy, Fiona, did a brilliant summation of this 20-year pattern, this 20-year cycle of Saturn-Jupiter aspects. And she did that in late 2024. So you'll find that it's still relevant, it's still fascinating, it's still so insightful. It can be viewed in my Astrology Discussions playlist, okay? So look for the Saturn-Jupiter square that was discussed with Fiona, and you're just going to be amazed. It's incredible. But you can also, if you're interested in understanding more about Jupiter and its transits, if you want to know more, you can actually go to my Jupiter through the transits through the houses playlist, which is free here on YouTube as well. So there's so much to learn about Jupiter and so much information that can support you through this journey. Now, as I've already set up talking about these aspects that have been sort of coming in and out and forming and not forming in the lead up to Jupiter's move into Cancer, I want to just reiterate that the next couple of months, pretty much until August, can be a somewhat confusing time because of the aspects that are forming and then not forming. Because there's contradictory aspects between the Tajika aspects, and for those who don't know what Tajika is, I do talk about it in the Royal Stars Academy, but Tajika is your 90-degree traditional Western aspects, and the Vedic traditional aspects of Saturn and Jupiter. They're contradicting one another, they're saying different things. Now, this contradictory mix of energies is set to last until Saturn moves back into Pisces on the 31st of August. In fact, Saturn's going to be in Pisces from August this year until February next year. And after August, the energy is going to become so much clearer. So you can expect that up until August, we're still going to be in this Jupiter-Saturn Tajika mutable square that will make an actual to the degree square aspect on the 15th of June. So we're in this Jupiter-Saturn square energy using these traditional Tajika aspects. Once again, Fiona talks about that in her video, if you want to refer to that one. Vedic aspects. Let me talk a little bit about the Vedic aspects. Saturn aspects it forward 3 signs ahead of himself. So in the case of Saturn in Aries until August, Saturn is aspecting Aries, yes, because he's there, and then 1, 2, 3, Gemini. So in the Vedic aspects, when Saturn is in Aries, he's not going to be aspecting Jupiter in Cancer. So it's only the Tajika traditional Western aspects that are causing this friction energy. So just for those who don't understand Vedic aspects, in Vedic, the planets throw their malefic energy in the case of Saturn or their benefic energy in the case of Jupiter to wherever they are looking at, and they each have certain ways of looking. So they throw the energy of the nature of the planet. It's not based on the type of aspect being formed, like squares are bad and oppositions are bad and trines are good. It's not that. It's based on the nature of the planet. So the nature of Saturn casting his glance is one of blockage and restriction and holding things back. In this sense, Saturn has been aspecting, in the Vedic system, he's been aspecting Jupiter in Gemini since he moved into Aries on the 25th of May. But according to the Vedic system, that restrictive force will cease on the 9th of June when Jupiter moves into Cancer and Saturn is no longer casting his glance on him. Okay, so they're the two systems of analysis. I assess both. I feel into what is working and how it's expressing in my life and my observations of the people around me and what's happening in mundane astrology. So I want to ask you, what have you been feeling since Saturn started Vedic aspecting Jupiter on the 25th of May? What does that signify to you? Is the Vedic aspecting energy correct? Is it tension or is it relief to you? What about the Tajika aspects? Do you feel that there's a growing tension because of the Tajika by degree square that is currently building? What does that signify for you about the nature of the Tajika aspects and how that works or doesn't work? What do you think? Just putting it out there. I like to get the mental juices flowing, get people thinking about astrology. Now, once Saturn moves back into Pisces on August the 31st this year, all the confusion and tension is going to cease. And whether it's Tajika or whether it's Vedic aspect, neither are going to be forming an aspect to Jupiter after the 31st of August. And that is why from the 31st of August onwards, we will be able to move forward in life more freely, feeling the full blessing of Jupiter being in his sign of exaltation without hindrance from Saturn in either Western system or Vedic system. Hallelujah. Good times are coming. That's why I say the longer Jupiter is in Cancer, the better and better and better things are going to express. In fact, Jupiter will actually be making a Vedic aspect. And remember, Vedic aspects have the nature of the planet making the aspect. Jupiter is going to be aspecting Saturn from that time on by trine. Jupiter in Vedic aspects makes trinal aspecting. So he's aspecting Pisces and Scorpio, the water signs where Saturn's going to be. So Saturn is actually in Pisces at last going to be receiving its powerful uplifting energy of Jupiter by aspect in the Vedic system. Things, my friends, are about to improve greatly all round in our lives after August 31st. Now, not only that, but I have to tell you, Cancer is governed by the moon. So whenever the moon is powerfully placed in Cancer, together with Jupiter, over the whole coming year, we can expect to see growth, increase, popularity, and manifestation in abundance. And this is going to happen once a month, particularly the new moon in Cancer over the coming year and the full moon in Cancer over the coming year. But once a month, moon is going to be there in its own sign with Jupiter in exaltation. Wowee. If you're going to have a baby, you want that baby to come when the moon and Jupiter are together in Cancer. So if you have to schedule a cesarean, my friends, or you know somebody who's scheduling a cesarean, send them this video. You want to schedule it when the moon and Jupiter are in Cancer because that baby will be blessed for its whole life because you've done that. Now, I'm going to be talking about Jupiter-Moon energy further and how to craft this powerful energy to your advantage in my moon reports every month over the coming year at the Patreon family. If you haven't joined the Patreon family, please do. You get a forecast like this every single month, twice a month actually, new moon, full moon, and we talk in depth about what is happening with each lunation. So this is a very powerful year for good lunations that are going to bless your life. You want to know how to use that energy to your advantage. The link's in the description if you'd like to join the Patreon family. I'll see you there. Now, we're going to be talking about Jupiter's Vedic aspects just briefly here, so you know. I may have time to mention it in the All Signs breakdown. There's a lot to cover, but I'll just let you know that when Jupiter is in Cancer by Vedic aspect, he makes an aspect to the sign he's in, Cancer, whatever house Cancer is for you in your chart. He also aspects the sign opposite, Capricorn. So he's making a Vedic aspect to Capricorn. He's also making a Vedic aspect to Scorpio and Pisces. All of those houses are going to be expanded, blessed, and have some growth in your life. What do those houses, Cancer, Scorpio, Capricorn, Pisces, rule in your life? That's where life is going to get some expansion over the coming year. And now let's break it down for all signs. We're going to start with Cancer. We are looking at this once in 12-year ability to address some really special, precious things in our life. In the case of Cancer, it's in first house bodily energy. This is the place where you're now going to be living your truth, Cancer, in being true to yourself, true to what your body needs, true to your ability to thrive and flourish in life. It's first house area that you are going to be redefining what success is for you. What is a successful body, a healthy body? What does that look like for you? What is a successful life? What does a successful mission and path through life look like for you? You're going to be redefining that with Jupiter moving through exaltation in the first house. You're going to find answers that give meaning to life. If you've been struggling with a health issue, Jupiter in the first house is going to help you understand what that health issue is and make amends and find solutions. Because Jupiter can bring healing. And in the first house, he's going to want to heal whatever's not working in the house of you, in your life, whether that's in a relationship, financially, physically, emotionally. Jupiter wants to heal you. Also, you can be lucky. My Cancer friends, when Jupiter's in the first house, luck comes to you. You can find more joy in just being yourself, being real, being true, honoring who you are. And Jupiter, when he's in the first house, he sets things up for your future expansion. It's a super, super place to be. You know, I met David, my husband, when Jupiter was transiting my first house. I also had the blessing of a financial growth situation that occurred for me through certain circumstances in my life in that year when Jupiter was in my first house. Believe me, this is a great place for Jupiter to be transiting. It's going to set you up for future blessing going forward for the next 12 years. As I said, you can find out more about this incredible transit of Jupiter in the first house by checking out my Jupiter Transits, the first house playlist, free here on YouTube. Now, when Jupiter is transiting the first house, he's going to also expand and grow your ninth house of travel opportunities, your fifth house of luck and children and love, and also your seventh house of relationships. So it can be, like I said, when I had Jupiter transiting my first house, I fell in love. I met David, my husband. Seventh house husband, fifth house fall in love. Ninth house travel, I ended up going overseas. Excuse me, to meet David's family, etc. So powerful energy, Jupiter aspecting the first house, ninth house, fifth house, and seventh house here. Now, excuse me, this is an energy of receiving blessing from the lucky star. Jupiter is known in ancient times as the lucky star. So even with difficult combinations that may form throughout the year, like, you know, sometimes there might be a hard aspect from Mars as the year progresses or a difficult aspect from the Sun and so forth, you're still going to be protected with Jupiter transiting the first house of you. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time. You will experience more luck, more things just going your way. It's going to inspire you, even, you know, if you're the nastiest person out there, Jupiter in the first house is going to inspire you to be a better person People are going to notice and appreciate your charity, your kindness, your generosity. Any goodness that you possess will be recognized when Jupiter transits the first house. You're going to receive a lot from the universe. And this will be as a response to the generosity that you show out, like I talked about in the description to the first part of this video, which I hope you all listen to. It's so empowering. You're going to receive so much from the universe at this time, but it's always in response to your goodness, your kindness, your generosity, your Jupiter energy, which we all have in some way, shape, or form. This is also a time when you might be asked to be some sort of guide for others. In Vedic astrology, Jupiter is known as the guru. And so you might be being a guru to someone else in life. You might be teaching something to someone else. You might be showing the path to others, shining a light where there is darkness, helping other people plan for the future. This is part of the blessing and benevolence that you can bring to others when Jupiter transits the first house. It can make you more... you might find that a lot more people are coming to you for advice when Jupiter transits the first house, because Jupiter in the first house can give you, even just for the next year or so, a greater ability to see things from a higher perspective, to see the future. And this is especially true when Jupiter is transiting in such a strong dignity as he is in Cancer. So people will be coming to you for wisdom, for guidance, for advice, because you have the knowledge. And of course you can apply that to your own life too and start making wise choices and using your intuition, knowing that it's going to send you in the right path and help you to find the right way. You might be feeling more jovial for the next year as well, larger than life. You know, your charisma can increase. It's a bit of a Santa Claus energy. Jupiter transiting the first house can make you more benevolent, like I said, more jovial, more ho ho ho, and you can just have a lot more fun. Jupiter brings joy wherever he goes, and so there's more fun to be had, more joy to be had. Even if the amount of joyful experiences in your circumstances don't change, you're going to just enjoy even the little things in life. Someone cooks a loaf of bread on the weekend, you think it's the best thing that's ever happened, you know, homemade bread, you know, and you get a lot of happiness out of that. Joy comes to you in big and little ways for the next year. Now, one thing to watch out for, this is the usual traditional information we give when Jupiter transits the house of the body. Watch out for expansive bodies. Too much good food, comfort food, as I said in the introduction to this video. Although I found when Jupiter transited my first house that I lost weight. Naturally, I mean, I have Jupiter in the first house natally. And that being the case, I'm more inclined to enjoy exercise, actually, because Jupiter's in his own sign, the house of the body, the house of exercise, and feeling some mastery over the body. So I actually increased my exercise when Jupiter transited the first house, and I happened to lose some weight, which was fantastic. If you don't have Jupiter here natally, and you like a bit of comfort eating, do be careful, because Jupiter can put some pounds on when he transits this realm of the chart. But usually you will find that you have an increase in life energy and life force energy, more enthusiasm to get up and go now. There could also be a strong connection to children that might manifest for you. You might even start working with children in some way, or just have more to do with children for some reason or another. You know, Jupiter's a very fertile planet in a water sign, which is very fertile, and it's about families, Cancer. So, you know, even if you've got a debilitated fifth house of children, Jupiter transiting Cancer, the first house, could see you potentially have a child. So Jupiter's making a Vedic aspect also, as we know, to the fifth house of children in this fertile placement. So if you haven't been able to have children, this could be your year. Also, this is a year when you might see life through the Jupiter lens, and that means seeing life as an adventure, seeing life as expansive, seeing life through rose-colored glasses. So your belief in the benevolence and the goodness of the universe is going to increase. And of course, when we see things through that mindset of life is good and life is blessing me, we attract it. It comes to us. If you listen to my Jupiter Through the Houses playlist, you'll hear me talk about Jupiter being a magnetizer and drawing things to us. It's fascinating. Check that video out, all about that. But yes, here, because your mindset is expanded to goodness and benefit, you bring it in. Now, It can make you a bit more religious and a bit more spiritual, because that's the nature of Jupiter. So if you're not inclined towards religion, you might be more inclined to spiritual understanding. You might even receive access to some sort of higher knowledge and higher wisdom, maybe Hermetic principles or esoterica. Things like that might really excite you and get you going. Foreign countries, foreign travel might be on the cards. I've already mentioned that because of Jupiter's aspects. Also, you might receive higher education, or get interested in doing some sort of higher level education as well. That could be studying astrology with me through the Royal Stars Academy. Could also be, going back to university, getting a PhD, that sort of thing. You could also find that you are connecting more with socially important people, because the 9th house is gurus and teachers and inspirational people. You might be connecting more with those sorts of people because of because of Jupiter's aspect to the 9th house. We become easygoing and more forgiving when Jupiter transits through the 1st house as well. This is the impression that we give. We might be carrying a lot of pain inside because, yes, life is hard, but the impression that we give to other people, the aura, the first impressions are seen through the 1st house, is going to be one of Jupiterian upbeat positivity. So that's what we're seeing coming the way of anyone with Cancer as their sun, moon, or rising sign. Don't forget, there is a video available at my Patreon family all about the 12-yearly Jupiter return. Now, if you've got your Jupiter located in the sign of Cancer, this is going to be a huge year in your life, and you're going to see things drastically change for the better. As I said, I was blessed to meet my husband when Jupiter transited my 1st house and had my Jupiter return, also blessed with an increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way. So make sure you check out that video at my Patreon family if you're having your Jupiter return this year. You're going to want to know all about it. Moving right along to lovely Leo. Leo rising, Leo sun, Leo moon. This one is for you. You are having Jupiter transiting your 12th house. This is where you're going to start living your truth. This is where you're going to redefine success in a 12th house manner. This is where you're going to find answers that give meaning to your life, and where you're going to heal something, probably something from the past, something deeply psychological, something that is an integral part of your history can be really healed now when Jupiter moves through the 12th house. It's also the realm of the chart where you can activate to be more lucky. Your spirituality, travel, having a holiday, taking some time out, trusting your intuition and listening to your imagination can make you more lucky when Jupiter transits through the 12th house. Also, these sorts of things are going to bring you more joy as well. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But Jupiter in the 12th house is really all about setting you up for future expansion. If you want to find out more details about Jupiter and his incredible transit through the 12th house, don't forget to check out my Jupiter Transits, the Houses playlist. It's free here at the YouTube channel. Now, when Jupiter Leo is transiting the 12th house, he is, by Vedic aspecting your 6th house. Work life is going to expand. Dealing with problems and resolving problems is going to be a powerful healing component of this transit as well. Jupiter is also making a Vedic aspect to the 8th house, so crisis can come to an end when Jupiter is Vedic aspecting the 8th house, and it could even expand your ability to receive inheritances, or your partner's money might expand and be blessed as well, which is fantastic. Jupiter is also making a Vedic aspect to the 4th house. Your home might expand. You might get more opportunities to enjoy hospitality in your home or going to other people's homes. Your family life is going to improve and feel really joyful and wonderful. These are the aspects formed by Jupiter in the Vedic system to other houses. Now, Jupiter in the 12th house gives easy access to international travel and exploration of faraway places. It's going to give easy access to, if you want to collect spiritual or mystical items, or have spiritual or mystical experiences. If you want to go and do ayahuasca in Peru, by God, this is the year to do it, my friends. Forgive me for my cough. Also, my friends, you will have access to beautiful hotels, beautiful resorts, because Jupiter expands the themes of the 12th house, which is holiday places, luxury, escapism. It can really be fabulous. Now, I remember when Dave and I were in Hawaii, I was looking at the I was looking at the Royal Hawaiian, which was stunning old hotel, and the Moana Surfrider Hotel. Oh my God, you never know. I'm a Leo sun. I might get the chance to go and stay in one of those luxury hotels in beautiful Hawaii. Dreams can come true here with Jupiter in the 12th house. Jupiter transiting the 12th house can also expose you to more beautiful, refined art, film, music. You might have more opportunity to enjoy such things. Jupiter in the 12th house can also expand your bedroom. You might find that you are able to buy that gorgeous 4-poster queen-size bed that you've always wanted, or get that luxury silk linen that you've silk bed sheets and so forth that you've always wanted. There is this luxury and abundance and growth that comes to the bedroom when Jupiter moves through here. And that can include the pleasures of the bedroom as well. More joy, more fun, more delight in the pleasures of the bedroom. So Jupiter expands everything to do with the 12th house. So your bed might get bigger. Like I just said, you might buy something bigger than what you already had. Or lots of international travel, of course. Maybe even your feet might get bigger and you might have to start buying a bigger size shoe because the 12th house has to do with your feet. It also gives tremendous intuition when Jupiter transits the 12th house. Lots of vivid, lucid dreams. It's a wonderful time for channeling information from the heavenly realms. So do have that dream journal beside your bed to take note if you wake up at 2 a.m. with a special message from the heavens. You might be able to contact your spirit guides so much more easily, or retrieve memories from the higher realms. You might find yourself astral traveling more so than ever before. You might also find that messages come through from your past lives in some way, shape or form. Opportunities for spiritual awakening occur. You might even get some ancestors on the other side. You might feel them pulling the strings to help position you and put you where they want you in life to get the most benefit. This is great. If, you love to talk to Nana or Grandpa on the other side, go for it. This is a time when you'll be heard and they're going to be supporting you. It's also a great energy for psychics and astrologers when Jupiter is transiting the 12th house, because this is a time where any sort of spiritual awakening that occurred in past lives for you is going to bubble to the surface now, and your ability to tap in psychically or understand spirituality and astrology associated with spirituality is going to come to the fore. So fabulous, fabulous time if that's the field that you operate in. The 12th house also is a house that reveals to us what we did in previous lifetimes. So in the lifetimes where natally, if Jupiter was here, it would tell you that you'd had past lives as priests or priestesses or gurus and things like that. But when Jupiter by transit moves through the 12th house, what it's doing is telling you that somebody who was a guru in your past life might be reconnecting with you now. Somebody who you knew as a priest or a priestess or a wise person from a past life might be influencing your life now, might be present, showing up in your current incarnation now. So this can be very powerful because there's a lot of knowledge and power and benefit that can come from that person into your life now too. Very exciting. So make sure you listen to the spiritual wisdom keepers that come into your life over the coming year. This can also be a time when you receive spiritual gifts and knowledge and wisdom from, as I've already alluded to, your past lives. It can also really expand your imagination. The 12th house is imagination. Our dreams, yes, but our daydreams too, our visualizations. The power of the mind is so underrated. You've got to dream something before it can manifest. You've got to see it in your mind's eye before it becomes a reality. So this is a time for expanding the power of your visualization. Get a vision board happening. If you haven't done so already, my friends, this is the time. Neptune in Aries says get a vision board happening. Here, Jupiter in your 12th house, Leo, says if you haven't done this already, there's something wrong with you. Get your visions clear and concise and put them in front of you. Now, this is also a time when you might be encountering some gifted healers, somebody who can offer blessing and insight, maybe energetically, ethereally, through some sort of higher knowledge and wisdom as well. There is some negativity with Jupiter transiting through the 12th house. There might be a lack of discrimination because the 12th house is boundaryless and Jupiter blows those lack of boundaries right out of proportion. So You don't know when to say yes and when to say no. You perhaps are not, restricting your life in appropriate ways. So just be forewarned about that, Leo. But in the good sense, you're less discriminatory of other people. You're more embracing and charitable and welcoming of all types of people from all walks of life. You're more forgiving, less judgmental, more all-embracing, and more entering into that feeling of oneness with all of life and the energy of all of life. You can be visionary and imaginative, as I said, but also your channels open up to the invisible worlds, receiving those downloads from the divine. Powerful, powerful energy. So trust your intuition. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer after all. Now, you can be very successful in foreign countries when Jupiter transits the 12th house. So if you do operate on an international scale in some way, shape or form, you're going to be well treated. You're going to receive more success. You might receive more, overseas clients or contracts or opportunities in overseas kind of situations. And if you need to travel, it's going to be very beneficial for you on not only an emotional and spiritual level and a soul level, but it's going to be very beneficial for you on a financial level. Jupiter is money after all. Pardon me. Jupiter symbolizes children as well. So, this is a time when you can have something to do with foreign children in faraway places, maybe through charity, maybe through some sort of support network that you get involved in. Helping children in faraway places might be very much paramount at the forefront of your mind. There's going to be perhaps many opportunities. I talked about bedroom pleasures, but there might even be many opportunities for sexual relationships that will come along while Jupiter is here. Jupiter rules many. So these could be opportunities for affairs or secret relationships. Jupiter is non-discriminatory about the type of sexual relationships. That morality is up to your own natal chart. So think about your karma. Think about what's going on in the future. Remember, Jupiter sets up what's happening in the future for you. And here you get involved in an affair. Well, what does your sixth sense tell you about the karma you're going to get for getting involved in that sort of thing? Okay, we have free will. Acting upon these opportunities that might present themselves is entirely at your discretion. So I'm just telling you what the Jupiter energy represents. Your own personal chart will determine what course of action you take about that opportunity that shows up in your life. Jupiter is our joy. And on another note, your sex life in general can be very joyful over the coming year, uplifting and delightful with Jupiter, the jovial, happy energy, glass half full energy, moving through one of the houses of our sex life. Remember, Jupiter is charitable and compassionate, and here in the 12th house, you'll be really moved to help those in need, not just children, but everybody. Lots of desire to be generous to those who are less fortunate. I'm already feeling this energy as a Leo sun person, already feeling this. When I was younger, I dreamed of having like a retreat space where I could take young children who were disadvantaged or abused and suffering and give them a good life. I always wanted to do that in some way, shape or form. Maybe someday, who knows what the universe has in store. But lately I've been tapping back into that feeling of I just want to help people who are disadvantaged, who didn't get the blessing that I had growing up in a loving family. I want to give that to someone else. So who knows what that might take me, but this, I believe, is the energy I'm already feeling into. Those of us who are highly intuitive tend to feel into Jupiter energy or changing sign energy even before it arrives. Here comes Jupiter into the 12th house. This can definitely be something that you're feeling into. Charitability, compassion. But there's also a lot of benevolent entities looking out for you, protecting you. This is an energy of protection, Jupiter in the 12th house. Lots of guardian angels looking after you. So enjoy the next year, my Leo friends. It is a gift from the divine. And don't forget, there is a video available at my Patreon family all about the 12-yearly Jupiter return. That's a special energy. It's a huge year in a person's life when they have a Jupiter return, and they tend to see things drastically change for the better. When I had my Jupiter return last, I met David, my husband, and I was blessed with an increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way. So my friends, make sure that you check out that video at my Patreon family if you're going to be having your Jupiter return this year. There's so much more information that you need to know. Thank you, Leo. And moving along to Virgo, Virgo rising, Virgo sun, and Virgo moon people. We're looking at the transit, Jupiter changing signs and moving into Cancer, your 11th house. Now, when Jupiter is moving through this area of the chart, by Vedic aspect, he's also going to be expanding and growing and blessing your 5th house of good luck and children and love. He's also going to be aspecting, by Vedic aspect, your 7th house of partnership. He's also going to be Vedic aspecting your 3rd house of small business and skills and talents. So all these areas of your life are going to grow through the Jupiter Vedic aspects as well. This is a once in 12-year opportunity, my Virgo friends, to really start living our truth with our friendships, with our dreams, with our goals, with our ambitions, 11th house things. We're going to redefine what success is to us regarding 11th house things. We're going to find answers that give meaning to our life in the 11th house area, answers to our dreams, answers to our goals, answers to friendship issues and sense of belonging and community. We're going to heal something in that area of life. This is a time, Virgo people, where you might restore a friendship that's been frazzled, or restore some form of benevolence or financial blessing. This is the house in Vedic astrology of great money. And so if you've missed out on some great money or had the diddly done to you by somebody who took a lot of money out of your life, this is a time when you might start to see money coming back into your life. Jupiter also brings luckiness to wherever it goes, so you can be lucky with generating a great deal of money or opportunities in life, or new friendships, new networks, new circles that grow your experience. You can find a lot of joy through such things. And really, Jupiter in the 11th house is setting things up for a lot of future expansion in your life. Let's break that all on down as we go through. If you want to know more details beyond what I'm giving in this video alone about this incredible transit by Jupiter to the 11th house, check out my free Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist. It's free here at YouTube. You'll find out so much more information there. My friends, when Jupiter is transiting the 11th house in Western astrology, it is traditionally considered the best position for Jupiter because it expands, as I've already alluded to, your profitability. So people can benefit from anything to do with Jupiter at this time. You can benefit from your beliefs, from being kind, from being charitable, from being generous. This is a time when you can become very awarded, not just financially awarded, but, getting the Nobel Peace Prize or getting recognition for the work that you've done happens more frequently when Jupiter moves through the 11th house, especially in his exaltation. It's going to make you more well connected as well. And this means being better connected to people who are very respected and well learned, people who are very influential and powerful. And of course, when you make good connections in that way, it can lift you up as well and lift your life up. So you're going to increase your networks. They can get very big and very wide, but you'll also be connecting and networking with people who are very Jupiterian, very open-minded, very non-discriminatory, people who are very well-learned, people who are very intelligent and genius-like. Your friendships are also going to be moving to a more Jupiterian level. They'll be more fun, they'll be more joyful, they'll be more jovial. Your friendships will also have a basis of intelligence about them. And you'll probably be making new friends with people from very broad backgrounds, friendships with depth, friendships with substance that will last you long-term into the future, Jupiter energy. Friendships where you're going to talk about deep issues and philosophies, not just what's happening with the weather and the footy, This is an energy of positive expectation. You're going to be looking to the future. 11th house has to do with the future, and you're going to be looking to the future with positivity now. And therefore, as within, so without, because you have a positive outlook on life and a positive expectation for your life, you have a great success rate and a great level of achievement now too. So lovely energy for Virgo rising sun or moon. You'll be very positive about achieving your goals and dreams. And because you're positive about that, you do start to achieve your goals and dreams when Jupiter transits through the 11th house. Also, we find that when Jupiter is in exaltation in the 11th house, your goals and dreams are actually very achievable. But you must dream big. So you can have the biggest goals and dreams, and they're actually achievable. Like usually, if let's say Jupiter was in his fall in Capricorn transiting through the 11th house, and that's a position that I as a Pisces rising person would experience. Well, we can have the biggest dreams in the world, but because Jupiter is not strong here, those dreams and goals may not manifest, may not fruit. We might only get a little way into them and they might not really blossom into their fullness. But here, When Jupiter is in exaltation, oh my God, your big dreams, your big goals can blossom and fruit into fullness. Fantastic. So allow your expectations to expand to meet your destiny, my beautiful Virgo friends. Now, as I've mentioned, a Vedic trine is sent to the 7th house from this placement, so it can give you a very benevolent experience with your existing partner or a business partner, or if you're single, you may meet a very benevolent, generous partner. It can even give marriage if there are other aspects forming in your natal chart that can indicate marriage can manifest. So you need to know your chart and some of the other indicators. You could do my course, which is very cheap at the moment. I believe it's on sale on When Will Love Come? It will tell you. Do you have all the signatures happening in your life for love to arrive? But a trine from Jupiter is exceptionally powerful for manifesting a partner, especially if you're a woman. Okay. Jupiter also trines the 3rd house, and this gives a positive aspect and an upbeat mental attitude towards life. And this positivity and this positive outlook is what attracts good new friends and the right kind of people and influential people, because you are a desirable person to be with. If you're a moaner and a whinger and I'm a victim, life's been so shitty to me, and life's hard for everybody, but if you're always looking to be the victim, nobody wants to hang around with somebody like that. But Jupiter trining your house of mental attitude, giving you a positive outlook and upbeat perspective, people are going to just flock to you. They want to be with you. Also, Jupiter's aspect to the 3rd house gives you a great ability to teach. And because of the 11th house and 3rd house connection here, through this aspect, you can actually really grow a big fan base or a lot of followers in your life. So you might actually find that during the next year, you're able to generate a large following on the internet or through social media, become an influencer or something. It's also a great placement because Jupiter is charity for really seeing a lot of traction for a fundraiser for a worthy humanitarian cause. This is a great time to start a GoFundMe page for something really meaningful and something really purposeful. In fact, I encourage you to get into fundraising, get into trying to make life better for people, because this is the house of activism where we actually do things to benefit and bless society. And Jupiter is charity, so the more that you can get involved in that sort of thing in some way, shape or form, the more you're channeling the positive Jupiter energy and the better the blessings in your own life. So please get involved where you can. You can be very gainful through large celebrations, through things that bring you joy. Jupiter is joy in the house of gainfulness. Being joyful can bring you gainfulness. Getting involved in things that bring you a lot of joy. You might like going out dancing on a Wednesday evening, salsa dancing or something like that. And by doing so, you meet all these amazing people who bring more benevolence and opportunity and gainfulness into your life. So seek what brings you joy, Virgo. International influences can be very important going forward, while Jupiter is transiting the 11th house as well. And so you might find that your connections expand on an international level as well. Getting a university degree is ruled by Jupiter as well, so that can be very expansive and gainful for you to do so. My Virgo friends, being a teacher to others can be very gainful. Being a guide to others in some way, shape or form can be very gainful. And also you can be very gainful for just plain old good luck, 5th house energy that Jupiter is aspecting. The 11th house is also the house of your immediate older sibling, and they might be a very strong spiritual influence on you for the next year in some way. They might bring you benefits, they might bring you opportunities, there might be something of a benefactor for you. They're going to expand you and bring you a great deal of joy into your life. Now, don't forget, my beautiful Virgo friends, there is a video available at my Patreon family all about the 12 yearly Jupiter return influence. Now, if you're having your Jupiter return this year, if your Jupiter is natally in the sign of Cancer, this is a huge year in your life, and it can see things drastically change for the better for you. I was blessed to meet my husband, David, and blessed to have a great increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way when I had my Jupiter return year. It's powerful. So make sure if you're having your Jupiter return year that you check out that video at my Patreon family page. The link's in the description below. You want to know all about what that energy is going to do for you. Moving along. Thank you, Virgo. Now, lovely Librans. Libra rising, Libra sun, Libra moon. The energy of Jupiter is going to be squaring either your sun, moon, or rising sign from the 10th house. But this is a good energy. Don't doubt it. It's going to be great. Jupiter in the 10th house is a very beneficial place to have this transit, especially in exaltation. The 10th house is where you're going to be able to live your truth in this area of life. It's going to help you redefine what success is for you regarding 10th house things, career, worldly achievements, etc. You're going to find answers that give meaning to life in this area, purpose, legacy, what you want to leave for those who come behind. You're going to want to heal something that hasn't been right in the 10th house area of life as well. And Jupiter's going to enable you to do that. You're going to get lucky with your career this year, my Jupiter friends, and your worldly aspirations and your worldly achievement and public recognition. You're going to find joy from such things this year. And Jupiter's transit through the 10th house is going to set you up for future expansion in terms of career, worldly recognition, popularity, and visibility. What an exciting year for my beautiful Libra friends. Now, I'll also point out, Libra, that Jupiter by Vedic aspect will be making an aspect to your fourth house of home, family, the house that you live in, the community that you belong to, your heritage, your roots, your lineage. Jupiter will also aspect your working life and your health and well-being. He will expand that for you. And he will also aspect your second house of money and wealth and prosperity. Yay, Libra, it's all happening. Hurrah for Jupiter transiting your 10th house. Now, if you want to find out some more details about this transit, check out my Jupiter transits through the houses playlist. It's free here at YouTube, and I do go into more detail, especially for special people like you, Libra. So check it out free here at the YouTube playlist. Now, if you're involved in a Jupiterian career, maybe you're a teacher, a professor, an advisor, a guru, or a judge, you're involved with the law in some way, you're involved in international dealings or international affairs, then this is a great year. If you're a giver of information, if you're something of a guru that people look to for wisdom and guidance, this is your year. This is a year when your career is going to just explode off the charts. This is a year when you're not only going to give the impression of being very knowledgeable, but your knowledge in your field is going to really grow as well. Your vocation this year is actually all about interpreting the will of God and having meaning and having purpose in what you're doing. Very exciting. Now, hopefully most of you Librans watching this have had a good education. If you haven't had a good education, do go and get some sort of education this year, because what Jupiter's doing in the 10th house is setting things up for your future career as well, going forward for the next 12 years until he's back here again. So getting yourself educated in astrology or the law or medicine or whatever higher level education is floating your boat. It doesn't have to be, going to be a general practitioner, doctor or something. You could go and do naturopathy or acupuncture or something like that, something that is a higher level of understanding than just getting, a hairdressing certificate or something like that. That's very Jupiterian, is to go for the higher level achievement. So it doesn't mean one's better than the other, it just means they're different. So this is a time when education is going to be very advantageous to your career and progress. Now, if you've had a good education, if you are very knowledgeable about your field, you are going to go just rocket launch into greater success. You might even find, if you haven't been teaching what your field is, you might get an opportunity to teach and lecture on your particular field of expertise. You might be traveling abroad and speaking and advising and inspiring others overseas in faraway places about your particular field of expertise. 10th house is the area of expertise in our life. Jupiter is a kind planet of charity too. So you might bring in some type of charity into what you're doing as a career. I remember when Lada from Astrolada started giving 10% of her readings to a particular children's charity that she was passionate about. I was so impressed by that. I just loved what she was doing. And this is the kind of thing you might start incorporating some sort of charity as a percentage of what you earn. Also universities, global affairs, benevolence, cultural activities, religion and spirituality, finance, ethics, law, higher learning. These are all realms that you might develop a career in. If you've never been interested in these things before, you might suddenly find this is the year when it starts to float your boat. Astrology being an avenue of spirituality there. If you're interested, I'll just point out as well. You must also start to think big, with career. Start aiming high. No going for the bottom branches of the tree. Aim to have your career go to a global scale, connecting with others from all over the world. Aim to function at an international level where possible. This is the year it can actually happen for you, and it can be taken to that expansive degree. Now, you're going to be well liked this year. This is a placement for popularity, especially when Jupiter is in exaltation. It's a kind energy, a benevolent energy. People are going to see you that way because the 10th house is how people see us. And so people are going to see you as kind and benevolent and likable and charitable and generous and jovial, all these Jupiter energies. You'll also get easy access to high positions because of your Jupiterian qualities, because you want to do good, because you're charitable, because you're kind, because you're fun-loving. Jupiter energy can take you into higher places of influence. You're also going to want meaning and purpose in your life this year, Libra, and inspiration in career. And so this is the year that can happen for you. You want your career to do some good in the world, not just a career to make money and line your pockets, but a career that blesses society, a career that's you're not just there for the reputation of self-advancement. You want to contribute. You want to leave a legacy. The 10th house is the legacy we leave. And when Jupiter is here, Jupiter wants you to be remembered for the good things, because you donated to a worthy cause, or you left a book that you wrote that uplifted millions, or whatever. But this is about contributing to the world in a benevolent sense. Jupiter also is the planet that shows the good we've done in past lifetimes, wherever he's placed in the natal chart. And as he transits through the 10th house, it's an indicator of a time of reward because of the good that you did do in past lifetimes and left a legacy of in past lifetimes. Now, you may never know what that is, but Jupiter is good karma. And so because of the good that you did in the world in past lifetimes, blessing comes to you now in your career and enables you to move forward. So very powerful, beautiful placement for Jupiter to be in. It can give you, even if you're not natally inclined this way, this is a year when you might become more visible, develop good leadership skills, and be more out front and more seen, especially when the moon transits through Cancer, as I spoke about in the introduction to this video. You can also develop a big following with this placement and be much adored by the public, more so than usual. So I love this transit for people who are working in sort of public positions. It can really bring a lot of blessing. Now, you can also gain in life through foreign travel. Jupiter is foreign travel. And it's also the second house from the ninth. And whenever we are two houses from something, it brings a level of gainfulness. So therefore, you can gain through foreign travel while Jupiter is here, and expand through foreign travel on a financial material sense as well. So it's a good year to travel. Hopefully the universe opens up avenues for you to do so, maybe teaching overseas, maybe, as I said earlier, sharing your knowledge with people from overseas. Rituals and ceremonies are also favored when Jupiter is in the 10th house, and you can use these throughout the coming year to support you and to support your career at a personal level. So get into the habit of doing some sort of daily little ritual and honoring the divine, honoring Jupiter. It will bless you. It will bless you in the long run. And usually, I think with this energy, you're going to have a lot of desire to work in a learned environment, to interact with people who are skillful and have mastery in your field, and to be associated with people of high achievement, the masters, the bosses, the leaders in your field as well. You're going to associate with them. That will bring blessing to you. But also by connecting with such people, you're going to develop more meaning and purpose in what you're doing and what you're giving to the world. This is a part of your beautiful karma. You'll be able to manifest greater strides forward towards the legacy you want to achieve, and the legacy that you want to leave is going to have some sense of meaning and purpose for you. You'll be able to embrace your dharma at some point this year. Now, according to Vedic astrology, Jupiter is the first marriage partner in a woman's horoscope. Saturn is the second marriage partner in a woman's horoscope. So if you're a woman watching this, your first marriage partner may, even though this is an aspect in the house of partnership, but through this transit, if you do meet someone this year, it's going to be somebody who is going to be highly, if it's your first life partner, highly respected for their achievements, and someone who will increase your social status and be a person of high social standing as well. Now, don't forget, my beautiful Libra friends, if you are having your Jupiter return, let's say you've got Jupiter in Cancer natally, then this is the once in 12-year Jupiter return, a huge year in a person's life that can see things drastically change for the better. When I had my Jupiter return, I was blessed to meet my husband David, and I was also blessed with an increase in my finances through a special opportunity that came my way. So make sure you check out the video at my Patreon family all about what Jupiter return energy can bring you if you're having your Jupiter return this year. Thank you, lovely Librans. Okay, Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon people. If you're a Scorpio, you are having a transit of Jupiter to the blessed 9th house. My God, this is fantastic. This is where you're going to start living your truth. This is where you're going to redefine success and meaning and purpose for yourself over the coming year. This is where you're going to find answers that give meaning to life. You're going to heal something in a 9th house area of life as well. Jupiter brings luck. Especially in exaltation in Cancer, this is where you can get lucky, especially in this house of good fortune. You can find joy through the 9th house energy, and you're going to set things up over the coming year that's going to be part of your future expansion going forward from the 9th house. So if you want to find out more details about this incredible transit by Jupiter, check out my Jupiter through the Transits the Houses playlist, free here at YouTube. I go into a lot more depth in that video than I will here with you now. But I want to point out that Jupiter will be Vedic aspecting so he's in Cancer. He'll be Vedic aspecting your 3rd house of skills and talents and abilities. He'll be Vedic aspecting your house of you and your body and your health and your ability to flourish in life. He'll be Vedic aspecting your 5th house as well. 5th house of luck and love and romance and children. So all the good things happening for our Scorpio friends. This in the 9th house is the natural placement for Jupiter. He's very familiar and comfortable with the 9th house. So it's like a double whammy 9th house influence when you've got Jupiter transiting through the 9th house. There's a lot of expansion, a lot of growth, and a lot of abundance in generally every area of life. Now, this is a time when you're going to have a very open mind. You're going to be looking at many beliefs, many cultural ideas, and sort of weighing them up. Are they for you? Trying them on? Do they fit? How they look? You're going to have less judgment towards other belief systems, and therefore more ability to embrace new ideas, embrace new belief systems. This is what I mean by expanding and opening your mind. You might be perhaps a little bit permissive about your morals during this time as well, because Jupiter pushes back the boundaries, and this is a house of morality, so just be forewarned about that one. But there will also be a growth in a belief in a higher order, and this will be coming through from many lifetimes. Jupiter is the karma the good karma from past lives. So because of some of the good things you've experienced in past lives, and we've all had many good and bad experiences in past lives, but because of the good experiences you've had in past lives, you're going to find that your belief in luck and belief in the goodness of the universe will grow. And because your belief in those areas grows, you attract more good luck. You attract more goodness. The universe is more on your side than usual, or you may sense that or feel that. So it's a lovely energy in that way. There's also going to be the capacity to deeply understand, and comprehend the ideologies and the philosophies and the sacred studies of other cultures. So this is a great time. If you've wanted to dig into ancient wisdom studies or Hermetic studies or study of different ideas like esoteric beliefs and so forth, go for it. This is a wonderful time. It's going to really expand your soul and mind and your mastery of energy, which is really one of the best things you can accomplish in this life, is to learn to work with the energy, because then you have a happier, more fulfilled, more balanced, more steady life. So really go for it, my friends, Scorpio. This is your time. Now, also this is an energy for being really able to be concise and summarize big concepts and see common patterns in big concepts as well. There's a great ability to comprehend things at a large scale. And this is why it's a good time to explore these things, because you understand, you can see how it all fits together and how the links are made and how, you know, the ties are formed. I think of that clip out of the film A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe, and he's got string lines everywhere, seeing the connections. That's what happens. Jupiter moving through the 9th house. You're going to believe now, even if you haven't believed in this before, you're going to start to believe in freedom for everyone. This is an all-embracing belief system that comes to you when Jupiter transits the 9th house. More global. You're going to recognize, because Jupiter is charity-driven, you're going to see where people are lacking and in need, and you're going to see the solutions for such things. You know, what needs to happen to bring everybody up to a fair and level and equitable playing field. On another topic, many of you Scorpio people are going to have easy access to foreign countries and travel. It's a great year for getting overseas and exploring new places. Many of you are going to connect with inspirational figures and gurus and teachers now. Connections all over the world can really unfold for you this year, and lots of luck. This is a house of good fortune. So it's not a house of gambling, so I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy that Lotto ticket, but I will tell you that good things can come your way. Fortuna, the goddess of good luck, is smiling upon you when Jupiter is in exaltation through your 9th house. Now, you will also have the ability to take different theories and ideas, and as I said, see the links between them. And if you are working in a field where you're a guide or a teacher or an academic or a philosopher or some sort of guru or leader, that is going to really propel your career forward and lift you up into the public eye potentially as well. You might start writing a book about the links and the connections that you see. There's also the ability to have meaning and purpose come into your life from understanding things at a bigger, more all-embracing level as well. Now, with Jupiter here, this is one of the houses of the father. It can make your father more Jupiterian, more jolly, more jovial, more happy and upbeat and outgoing, and that can be really lovely. It can also give your father a lot of confidence over the next year as well. Your father can also bring you more luck. It's through your dad or your dad's lineage, pardon me, that you might find that your good fortune manifests. You might find that your father simply wants to help you and wants to be there for you and do things for you to help lift you up. Jupiter is actually, as we know, I've already mentioned this, trining the ascendant from this placement. So it's going to strengthen your health and give you more energetic vitality. You can have luck with health and even find solutions to health problems when Jupiter transits through here. And the same is true for the ability to have children, especially because water energy is very fertile energy. So Jupiter, Lord of Children, trining the house of children, where Pisces, a fertile energy, means that children could come your way if you've been trying to get pregnant. There can be blessings that come to you from other countries and create wealth for you. So it's great to have connections overseas and to be sort of investing in things overseas at this time, growing your connections in overseas sort of influences or international systems. You can have a lot more creativity now, a lot more original thought that leads to blessing and gainfulness. Be very wary of overenthusiasm and overconfidence with belief systems that could come across as dogmatic or self-righteous. That's the one, like Jupiter can overexpand, even in his own exaltation. So just be careful of that from time to time, being really dogmatic in what you stand for. Jupiter rules many things, and this is the house of teachers and gurus and sources of inspiration. You might have so many teachers, so many gurus, so many sources of inspiration coming at you from left, right, and center. It's not going to be overwhelming. It's going to be soul expanding. So enjoy it. Friends of your friends. This is the 11th house from the 11th. So friends of your friends can give you blessing, can give you opportunities in life. So this is where networking can be very, very beneficial. It's not a house of networking, but it's through the networks that you already have and their networks that life can expand and grow more abundant for you. But Jupiter in the 9th house, wealth and luck comes from Jupiter-based things. And that also happens to be 9th house-based things. Travel, greater knowledge, expansion of the mind, the heart, the soul, charity, benevolence, spirituality, and adventure. Go for it, my beautiful Scorpio friends. Now, don't forget, there is a video available at my Patreon family all about the once in 12-year transit of Jupiter to your natal Jupiter position. So if you have Jupiter in Cancer, this is your Jupiter return. And this is a huge year in a person's life. It can see things change drastically for the better. Wonderfully so. You know, when I had my Jupiter return, I was blessed to meet my husband, and also blessed with an increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way that year. So it's so good. Do make sure, if you're having your Jupiter return this year, check out my video at the Patreon page. It's going to tell you all you need to know about Jupiter return. And moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising, sun, or moon people. Well, the energy of Jupiter, your ruling planet, Sagittarius, is going to be entering into your 8th house. For the last year, he's been in your 7th house, blessing your partner. Now there's a shift of energy. Jupiter in the 8th house is going to be all about living your truth in the 8th house area of life, redefining success and what success looks like for you in 8th house realms. It's where you're going to find answers that give meaning to this area of your life. You're going to want to heal something in an 8th house area. It's a healing house. Jupiter is a healing energy. So lots of healing to your life can be coming your way now. It's where you're going to get lucky. You're going to get lucky through 8th house things, inheritances, and we'll talk all about that in a second. And you're going to get joy out of that good luck that Jupiter brings you as well. Jupiter's really setting things up for you, especially for you, Sagittarius, because you're ruled by Jupiter, setting things up for your future blessings, setting things up for you to be able to move forward and flourish fully in life. I'm so pleased to tell you this news because I know you need to hear it, my beautiful Saggy friends. Now, if you want to find out more about this transit, then do check out my Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist. It's free here at YouTube, and I go into greater detail there for Jupiter transiting the 8th house. I will just point out that Vedically, Jupiter is aspecting not only the 8th house, but aspecting and expanding and making more abundant your 2nd house of money and the resources that you have. So not only the resources of your partner and inheritances and all the things we're going to talk about with the 8th house, but your resources, your money, your ability to make funds that support your body's journey through life. So big thumbs up there. Jupiter's also going to be aspecting your 12th house. Past life karma. Good past life karma is about to come your way. Blessings from the good things you've done, either early in this life or in past lives, about to unfold for you. And Jupiter's also aspecting the 4th house, your family life, your home life, your connection with your family, your house of living, all about to go through some expansion and growth thanks to Jupiter's Vedic aspect. But let's have a look at Jupiter transiting through the 8th house. Now, wherever Jupiter goes, it gives a lot of something. So here in the 8th house, it could bring a great inheritance your way or some sort of hidden source of money that comes to you. Maybe you didn't know that the tax department owed you thousands, and all of a sudden they get in touch with you and say, sorry, we've been taking far too much. Boom, here's a ton of money. Fantastic. So this could be a really great year in your life for receiving the finances that, you know, that are undeserved in many ways. This is sort of our unearned means is the 8th house energy. This is why it's inheritances. It's stuff you didn't do to get, but you get it, you know. So this is what we're talking about. This could really be quite expansive and full of blessing and benevolence for you. I'm so happy to tell you that, Sagittarius. People who work in areas to do with fundraising can actually do very well this year because of this energy here. It can bring golden opportunities your way, opportunities that come to you actually from some disasters, my beautiful Sagittarius friends, could really be a benefit for you. Think about, I always use this term or this reference, but you know, Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind, a movie and a book that I absolutely love. They made success out of a disaster. They made money out of the fall of Atlanta. And this is what we're talking about here. Some disaster, some crisis, something terrible happens and you come out a winner. You come out on top. Jupiter moving through the 8th house can absolutely do that in your life, my beautiful Sagittarius friends. So the 8th house is a house of big, epochal changes in life. And with Jupiter here in his exaltation, you can actually benefit from it. It might not look like it's going to be beneficial from the outset, but oh my God, when bad things happen this year, you can rest assured that something fantastic is going to emerge out of it. Something full of karmic blessings, something full of you getting what you deserve in the best possible way, Sagittarius. Thumbs up. So this is also a house of secrets, and you might be required to keep a big secret this year. you know, you didn't know about it, you find out about it, and oh my God, you've got to keep your lips sealed, okay? So that may happen. There might be many changes in your personal identity as well this year, you know. You might be identifying, I'm not talking about, you know, sex changes or anything like that. I'm talking about how you identify yourself. I am a mother. I am a father. I am a hard worker or whatever. And there might be some big changes in how you identify yourself that happen at some stage throughout the year. Once again, it's going to be for the better, not for the worse. You know, maybe you've identified yourself as I am a single woman and you don't like that, but that's your identity. Along comes Jupiter into the 8th house and you change your identity and it moves more into I am a happy woman, you know, whatever changes that the situation has caused a change in identity. So this can be really powerful to change your identity. Once again, it's taking you to a much better stage in life. Now, if you have business partners or if you're married and have a spouse, they can be a great benefit to you on a material level as well, because this is the house of your partner's finances and resources. Business partners, clients, audience, marriage partner, their resources can be a blessing to you this year as well. And in fact, your marriage partner and your business partner's finances can blossom and flourish and grow as well because of Jupiter's transit through your 8th house. What a blessing that they're married to you, hey? After you marry, when Jupiter transits through here, if you're married or if you enter into a business partnership this year, that business can really grow and really flourish because collaborations and the financial rewards from collaborations expand with Jupiter moving through your 8th house. So it's a good year to create some partnerships, not just marriage, but business-wise as well, and to do some collaborations with other people. Great year for doing that if you want material rewards from it. In Vedic astrology, Jupiter rules the first marriage spouse for a woman. And so if you are a woman watching this video and you are either with your first partner or you're looking for your first partner, it indicates that Jupiter transiting here, if you meet somebody this year, or if you're married to your first partner, your first husband might be very 8th house this year. They might be being quite secretive. They might be dealing with hidden information. They might be having to wrangle with taxes. Or if you meet somebody, they I do apologize, I haven't been very well. They might be quite a secretive person, or they might be dealing with some hidden information this year. There can also be sudden changes and big shocks in life, in the life of the first spouse, first partner, that can come when Jupiter transits through this area of the chart. But also miracles. Miracles can happen in your life, Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter is in the house of big, sudden 180-degree turns around, and Jupiter is benevolence in exaltation. And so there can be easy healing from trauma, easy healing from illness, easy rectification of critical situations, easy rectification of debts and so on. Jupiter is a protective influence. If something is going wrong, like you have no money to pay for a debt or something that you need in life, then Jupiter can bring you miraculous support with ease. If you're not getting better from something, hello Kesenya, if you're not getting better, Jupiter moving into the 8th house can suddenly gift you with a healing. So this is a naturally beneficial position. Also, it's a natural occultist position. If you are working with secret knowledge, ancient knowledge, knowledge of past lives, if you're dealing with hermetic principles or esoteric understandings, this is something that you can really utilize now to grow and bless and benefit your life. This is a house of death and rebirth, and there may be many death and rebirth experiences this year because that's just what Jupiter does. He brings many things to wherever he transits. So there may be many death and rebirth experiences, the end of something and the beginning of something else, a complete turnaround in life. Usually it is beneficial, especially with Jupiter in exaltation. So you're not going to be afraid of these massive changes, these big 180-degree turns around. There's a natural trust here, a natural belief in the benevolence of the divine doing these changes. But it's really the phoenix rising from the ashes in the best possible way. So if you've been suffering in life, if you've been having a hard time of it, just know this is your year for turning things around, starting a whole new chapter. Fantastic energy, fantastic energy. Now, also, Sagittarius, I don't know if you've ever considered doing this, but when Jupiter moves through the 8th house, it's a wonderful time for coaching other people who are going through troubles and crisis, being a mentor, being an advisor, being a counselor. Equally, if you're going through a difficulty, listen to what other people have to say. You will have wise, benevolent advisors and counselors who will appear in your life if you're going through a difficult situation. And that may be the solution that you need to find your way out of a problem or a crisis or a difficulty. This is also if you're working in fields that involve surgery or midwifery, any kind of tax, if you're dealing with other people's money or you're an accountant and that sort of thing. It can be a brilliant time for success in 8th house careers. If you're an undertaker or dealing with death in some sort of way, you can have a lot of success in your business, although we don't want more people dying, but you could become a really much sought after undertaker or mortician or something as well. Scientists who've got this natally in their position are known to have easy access to scientific knowledge and scientific discoveries. So if you are a scientist and this is transiting your 8th house in this way, then just know you might have a lot of channeled information coming through. Trust your intuition, trust your gut on a lot of what you're doing in private and in research fields. You can also benefit, my beautiful Sagittarius friends, from buried treasures. This is a house of buried treasures, and when Jupiter transits here, oh my God, if there's any treasure or money that's been hidden or squirreled away, secret bank accounts, secret investments, that sort of thing, it can really flourish and blossom and bloom for you now. I'm very happy to tell you. Now, Sagittarius, don't forget there is a video available at my Patreon family page all about your 12 yearly Jupiter return. So Jupiter returns to its natal position once every 12 years. And if you've got Jupiter in Cancer, this is your year for that. This is a huge year in a person's life. It can see things change drastically for the better. When I had my Jupiter return year, I was blessed to meet my husband. I was also blessed with an increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way. So it is a great year in a person's life. Make sure you check out that video at my Patreon family. The link's in the description below if you're having your Jupiter return year this year. Moving right along to our Capricorn rising sun or moon people. Now, Capricorn, Jupiter is going to be moving for the next year through your lovely 7th house, an angular house, a powerful house. This is important. Let's explore what it's all about. This is the realm of life where you're going to be living your truth now, where you're going to redefine what success is to you regarding the house of relationships and partnerships. This is the house where you're going to find answers now that give more meaning to your life. You're going to heal something in the 7th house realm of life as well. You're going to get lucky with 7th house things. You're going to find more joy from 7th house things. This is where you're going to be setting things up for your future expansion and growth and abundance. I have so many good things to tell you. But if you want to find out more than what I'm going to have time to tell you here in this video, do make sure you check out my incredible Jupiter transits through the houses playlist. It's so much more information there. Free here at YouTube. There's a video all about Jupiter transiting the 7th house, which you're going to want to check out. Now, Jupiter is also Vedic aspecting from your 7th house, your 1st house, expanding you, expanding your understanding, expanding your mind and your wisdom and your health and your well-being. Jupiter is also going to be aspecting your 11th house of gainfulness and friendships. Jupiter is also going to be aspecting your 3rd house of talents and gifts and abilities. This is a beautiful placement. Jupiter transiting through the 7th house. Jupiter brings many things, more of something. So some of you might be having your more than one marriage, your 2nd marriage, 3rd marriage, 4th marriage, hopefully not all in the one year, but you might be having more. If you've only been married once and you're looking for your 2nd life partner, this might be the year when that happens. This is not the energy of being a Don Juan, but it's about finding relationships that are the right fit, especially when Jupiter's in exaltation. Relationships that feel benevolent, relationships that feel abundant to your soul. Having an abundance mindset about relationships can also happen here too. This can give very expansive relationships and very expansive attitudes towards relationship. Jupiter moving through the 7th house. It can also cause your partners, business partners, marriage partners, clients, audience, to become more spiritually minded, more philosophical. Worst case scenario, this doesn't usually happen when Jupiter's in exaltation, but worst case scenario would be more dogmatic and self-indulgent partners. But like I said, Jupiter is in exaltation, so that's less likely to be happening. Jupiter can also cause your partner to grow taller in some cases, or might cause your partner to gain a bit of weight too. So forewarned, forearmed about that one. Your partner might start to think about moving into a Jupiterian career, maybe being a teacher or a preacher or a mentor or an advisor of some description, or a counselor or an academic or a coach. These are all Jupiterian type careers. So your partner might start to be thinking about moving into those areas. Jupiter's transit to the 7th house can introduce things into your life that will expand your mind and your understanding as well. So Jupiter brings a feeling of pushing back the tent post, so to speak. You know, life gets bigger, life gets better. Now, sometimes if you're a single person looking for a partner, this can be a time when you meet a foreign spouse, somebody from overseas, somebody from a faraway place, somebody of a higher status or more accomplished than you are, somebody very benevolent, somebody who brings those blessings of benevolence into your life and connection with them. This is wonderful. Now, ordinarily, if Jupiter was ruling like the 6th, 8th or 12th house, which he does in the case of Capricorn people, he rules Sagittarius, your 12th house. This is still a benevolent energy, even when he's in exaltation, but it can be mixed with maybe an illness or a crisis or some sort of delusion with a partner. Okay, so the outcome can still be positive relationally, but there may be, particularly 12th house rulership here, could be, you might be a bit deluded about your relationship, or your partner might be deluded about relationship. But Jupiter is good karma from past lifetimes. And for you, Capricorn, good karma will come from a partner to you. It's coming from another person to you. Somebody you knew in another lifetime will be blessing you, will be bringing luck to you, will be bringing abundance to your life. Now, it can be a marriage partner, it could be a business partner, it could just be any random person. Somebody who's bringing good luck from a past life to you because you were good to them in a past life, because you were benevolent to somebody else. It's coming back to you now. What a lovely energy, Capricorn. What a lovely energy. Excuse me. Now, your partners, Capricorn, can also seem to get a bit lucky now. They might be in the right place at the right time. They might have a lot of wisdom about their dealings, or their deals go very well, or they have great bargaining power. And business partnerships can be really beneficial at this time. If you're involved in business, then trust what your business partners are telling you, because they're going to know what they're talking about, and they're going to open the road up for you to have more business success. You can also, I would suggest it's a great time to start a business. Find somebody, collaborate with them. The more collaborations you can bring into your life, the better the benefits, the luck, the blessing, the financial rewards, and the good karma that will come your way, Capricorn. So I'm really excited for you. You know, I'm thinking about one person in particular who I know is a Capricorn rising and sun person, who I hope this brings lots of love and, heart expansion into their life through partnership. But also I know they've been wanting to move into a career as well. And I hope they find the right collaboration that blesses them with this. It's a position for popularity too, can I just say. The 7th house is the public. The 7th house is our clients. And Jupiter moving here can really open up more clients, more public interested in our work, more buoyancy, more expansion with your public profile. So this is an exciting position for any Cancer, Sun, Rising or Moon people. So if you've thought, wondered, scratched your head about perhaps starting a business or moving into the public in some way, this is a great year to do it, because blessing comes where Jupiter is transiting. So don't forget, my Capricorn people, there is a video available at my Patreon family talking all about the Jupiter return. This is a once in 12 year aspect that forms. It's a huge year in a person's life when Jupiter returns to its natal position. And if you have Jupiter in Cancer, then you're having your Jupiter return this year. And you're going to see things drastically get much, much better in your life. You know, when I had my Jupiter return, I was so blessed to meet my wonderful husband. And I was also blessed with an increase in finances through a very special opportunity that came my way. So do make sure you check out my Patreon family video if you're having a Jupiter return this year, and find out all about what's in store for you. It's a special year in your life. Thank you, my beautiful Capricorn friends. Moving along to Aquarius rising. Pardon me. Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Moon people. Well, for my Aquarian friends, this is an exciting year because Jupiter will be transiting through your 6th house. This is really where you're going to be living your truth now, in the 6th house area of life. It's going to redefine what success is to you regarding 6th house things: health, well-being, physicality, and resolving problems. You're going to find answers now that give meaning to your life. You're going to want to heal something in this house of healing, heal some karma, heal some wounds to your life. You're going to get lucky about that healing, lucky about your health, lucky about 6th house things. You're also going to find joy in 6th house areas of life as well. Really, Jupiter is setting things up for a lot of expansion over the coming year regarding 6th house things. But not only that, Jupiter is aspecting, by Vedic aspect, the 12th house. It's a very karmic year. Karmic rewards and good karma, the blessing of all the good things you've done either in this life or a past life, are really coming home to you now. Not only that, but Jupiter will be aspecting your 10th house. So career, worldly achievement, the legacy you want to leave grows and expands and flourishes. Your money will grow, expand and flourish, as well as Jupiter makes an aspect to the 2nd house too. Fabulous, fabulous energy. If you want to find out more about all these details, then I'd encourage you to check out my Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist. It's free here at YouTube, and I go into much greater detail and depth with these things that I've just mentioned at that video, more than I have time to do here for you now. Now, let's talk about Jupiter transiting through the 6th house. Wherever Jupiter is where you're going to receive more of something. Now, sometimes in the 6th house, Jupiter can give more responsibilities, more work, a lot of duties, a lot of service to fulfill. But the thing is, in his exaltation, that's not going to feel like a problem. You're going to be like, absolutely, bring it on. You know, in Vedic astrology, this is one of the houses that has to do with wealth matters. It's an Arthur house. And so, you know, through more duties, more responsibilities, you can actually generate more prosperity, Jupiter energy, more wealth, more abundance. So don't be afraid to take on more work and more duties and more daily activities. You might have a lot of different jobs when Jupiter moves through here, or you might work in many, many places. It's also a placement that can see you expand and grow your work into a big business. So that's exciting too. You can succeed this year in the realm of work, but you will also probably have to work hard to achieve this. It's just the nature of the 6th house, but it'll feel like a pleasure. You know, I work damn hard on my astrology business. I love it, but I practically work 7 days a week just to maintain it. And I love every minute. It doesn't feel like work at all because it is a joy to me. That's what it'll be like. Jupiter is joy, moving through the house of work. Some of you Aquarian people might be offering many services to the world, to animals, to people, to the environment. Jupiter is virtue. Jupiter is kindness. And you'll be moved by compassion to rebalance the imbalances in the world. And you probably will be very inclined to want to devote yourself to helping in many areas of life where things seem out of whack, setting things to rights, making things balanced and harmonious again. Remember, Jupiter is forgiving. And so when he transits through the 6th house, you'll have more compassion for, people who incite conflict. You know, we had a guy in at work the other day who was off his nut with drugs and causing a lot of disruption and difficulty. And when I was told about that scenario of this guy coming in to my workplace, my first thought was, what causes a person to go down that road of destroying their life in such a way with so many drugs that they're trying to escape the horribleness of their reality, rather than, pointing the finger and, how, they're so terrible and blah, blah, blah. You'll be more Jupiterian in your approach. You'll be like, what is the cause? What is the reason? How can I help? You'll see these people, criminals, perpetrators, people who incite conflict, people who are destroying their lives. You'll see them with compassion now, especially as Jupiter moving through this area of people who are from sort of a lower social class or lower I hate talking about classes because I don't believe in class. I believe everybody is equal. But let's face it, some people are less educated, some people are less healthy, some people have less advantage. You'll see those people with compassion, wanting to help, wanting to heal, wanting to rectify their situations. This is, hopefully for you Aquarian people, this will not be an influence that causes you to excuse depraved behavior in other people. We don't want to do that. There are people that need to face their just desserts. Everyone on the Jeffrey Epstein list needs to face the music, believe me. This is not about excusing things. And it's certainly not about allowing other people to take advantage of you and being too permissive. But you will want to understand, and you'll want to know from a compassionate point of view the why. Let's talk about permissiveness in a different area now. Jupiter is permissive in the 6th house, and this is a house that needs a bit of boundaries. It's what you eat, it's your health and well-being, it's your diet, it's your exercise. Now, Jupiter here can cause us to push the boundaries right back. We're eating too much, especially I talked about in the introduction to this video about comfort eating. So you're eating too much to comfort the emotions or whatever, or you're being too lenient with your diet, or you're being too lenient with your exercise. You don't have a good routine. Be very careful of that. This is the shadow side of Jupiter in this area, because there's a lack of boundaries and there's much more leniency in a house that needs some structure, okay? You might be seeing, Jupiter brings many things. You might be seeing more health practitioners. It doesn't have to be negative. You might be, going to the acupuncturist more often so that you can chill and be all zen. You might be seeing a naturopath, and helping find some solutions and some healing. You just might be seeing a lot more healthcare practitioners. Chiropractors, Chinese herbalists, all that kind of stuff. This can be an amazing transit, actually, if you do work in the medical field, if you're a doctor, if you're a healer, if you're a lawyer who's setting things to rights, if you're in the military, if you are, an acupuncturist or a naturopathic healer or working in some healing industry, Jupiter can see your business just expand and grow and become very abundant. Jupiter also feels invincible, and just be careful about taking on too much here, trying to fix the problems of the world, so to speak, so that you burn yourself out and get too stressed. Don't end up overwhelmed. Keep things balanced, keep things harmonious as best you're able to. Remember, this is a house of imbalance, and Jupiter takes things to extremes, so be very conscious about these things, my beautiful Aquarian friends. Jupiter is the teacher. Jupiter is the guru. Jupiter is the wisdom giver, and so you might be actually able to teach and instruct and guide and drive people into more wisdom and find solutions for their difficult situations in life, helping them to understand how to get out of poverty, how to get out of debt, how to deal with the health crisis, how to overcome conflict, how to get out of mental toxicity. You will be able to intuitively guide people in these problematic situations, my beautiful Aquarian friends. So what an honor to be such a benevolent gift in the lives of people. At the highest level of vibration, this is an energy that can help you overcome your own issues. Yes, that can be hard to do, but if you can overcome your own health issues, financial issues, conflict issues, divorce issues, and so forth this year, you're going to find you have so much to give from the wisdom that you get from overcoming problems. And you may actually be able to move into a position of being a health guru, being a conflict management advisor, being a divorce counselor, being a divorce lawyer, or somebody who is able to give Jupiter wisdom to overcoming. And that might actually turn into a career for you. Some of you Aquarian people might be embarking on a career down that road of helping, healing, fixing, restoring, rebalancing. What a lovely energy. This is Jupiter brings many things. Some of you might have a lot of pets this year. The cat has kittens. You can't find anybody to give them to. Suddenly you've gone from having one cat to having 6. There can be a lot of animals in your life when Jupiter transits through the 6th house. That's a nice energy. Jupiter also is transiting through the 6th house. Jupiter is beliefs, and there can be I'll be honest about the 6th house. Even in his exaltation, Jupiter in the 6th house can bring conflict, animosity, and criticism because of your beliefs, because of your spirituality, from your morality, your belief system. But I encourage you, embrace who you are, embrace your belief system, regardless of what people might say. I think the outcome of doing so is going to be so benevolent because Jupiter is in his sign of exaltation. Now, Jupiter is wealth, and when you invest this year in sixth house things, you can increase your wealth. So sixth house is medicines, sixth house is conflict resolution services, pets, animals, the military, health and well-being, being a what do they call them, a gym instructor or a fitness coach, that kind of thing. If you invest in those sorts of things, either financially you invest or you invest your time in becoming one of those sixth house kinds of people, then lots of prosperity and abundance and blessing can flow your way. Jupiter, if you are an employer, will make you very kind to your employees and subordinates this year, and in turn they're going to be very receptive, very kind, charitable, good to you. And if you're looking to employ people for a business, this is a year to do it. You're going to get the best people if you are an employer looking to hire people this year. Really, there's no better year than this one to hire a whole lot of new staff. You'll get fabulous, high integrity, hardworking, compassionate, gracious, joyful people. Who doesn't want to work with people like that? Jupiter also represents our higher calling. And I do feel that for many Aquarian people, this is a year where you're going to be called to protect the poor, to help the poor and the weak and the disadvantaged and the sick and the underprivileged. So if there is a way that you can move forward with doing so, embrace it, because out of that creates good karma. Remember, Jupiter is our good karma from past lives, and what you do with this Jupiter energy in the house of karma is going to bless you going forward, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Make the most of it. Now, don't forget, my beautiful Aquarian friends, there's a video available at my Patreon family all about the 12-yearly Jupiter return energy. This is a huge year in a person's life. If you have Jupiter in Cancer natally, this is your Jupiter return year. It's a huge year. You know, it can see things change drastically for the better in your life. I was blessed to meet my husband during my Jupiter return, and I was also blessed with an increase in my finances through a special opportunity that came my way in my Jupiter return. So make sure you check out that video at my Patreon family page if you're having your Jupiter return this year. It's going to tell you all you need to know about that very special energy. Thank you, Aquarius. All right, precious Pisces, rising, sun and moon people. Pisces, you are going to have Jupiter transiting through the exalted fifth house. Woohoo! So excited. You know, Pisces, Jupiter rules you, and this is a very special transit. I've been looking forward to this one for years. You know, we are now going to start living our truth in this area of our life, the fifth house area. We're going to redefine what success is to us regarding this house. We're going to find answers that give meaning to our life in this area. We're going to heal something in this area of our life that needs healing as well. We're going to get lucky when Jupiter transits the fifth house of luck. Oh my God, good times, Pisces. We're going to find more joy. And we're also, when Jupiter transits the fifth house, going to be setting things up for future expansion. You know, I talk all about these things in my video where part of the Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist, and I encourage you to check that out because I go into greater depth there in that playlist. It's free on YouTube than I do here in this particular video for you, so do check that out. Now, my beautiful Pisces friends, when Jupiter is transiting through the fifth house, he is also making a Vedic aspect to your 11th house, expanding rewards, gains, visions, goals, dreams, and friendships. Fantastic. Jupiter is also making a Vedic aspect to the 9th house of good fortune and blessing and international success. Fabulous there, and travel. Jupiter is also aspecting you, Pisces, your first house, your joy, your mission, your purpose in life, your health, your well-being. So many good things that Jupiter's doing for Pisces people, I'm so happy to say. But let's explore now Jupiter's transit through the fifth house. This is an abundant, creative energy, so creative. Jupiter brings many things wherever he transits, and in his exaltation, he's going to bring so much creativity into your life. You know, you're going to get so many ideas, you won't have time to fulfill them all. So many artistic endeavors. You're going to be writing books left, right, and center, or producing artworks, or involved in performance and singing and whatever. There is going to be so many opportunities for you to express your higher self, your creativity, and it's in doing so that you're going to receive some sort of purpose and meaning and joy in life. This is the house of joy, the planet of joy here in his exaltation. This is a joyful year, Pisces, a joyful year. There is so much purpose and joviality coming your way this year, I'm happy to say. Also, you're going to give faith and hope to people. You are a light bringer this year, Pisces. Jupiter in the 5th house gives meaning and purpose not only to you, but to everybody you come in contact with, everybody you interact with. Be that here like I am on YouTube, be it in your daily work, be it in your family, you are a light bringer. You are a gift of joy to the world, because this is you. Jupiter rules you, Pisces, in the house of joy, giving that light to the world, the light of creativity, the light of wisdom, the light of joviality and happiness. The 5th house is what we love. You're going to love sharing your Jupiter energy that you have in abundance, Pisces. Now, this is also a great transit for teaching. You're going to be an inspirational teacher this year. You're going to lift people up. You're going to attract many students who are going to love you for the inspiration that you bring them, Jupiter. So, Pisces, if you are somebody who is already working in teaching fields, doing courses, sharing information, really go for it this year. Go in hard. Make the most of that energy, because you are going to attract so many people who recognize your energy, love your energy, enthuse about your energy, especially when the moon transits through Cancer. The popularity of your teaching is going to really be felt, really lift, really be powerful. Lots of students are coming your way. Jupiter brings many things. This is a house of students. So you're going to, attract people who see your energy, who value the inspiration that you bring. Now, also, Pisces, this is a planet of wealth. And here in the 5th house, wealth can come through risk-taking endeavors. So this could be gambling. Yes, this is a house of gambling. So, go buy that lucky ticket in the raffle or whatever. Absolutely. But also taking speculative investments. You might find that you get success by investing on the stock market with some commodity that you think is really a winner. You might find that you just good luck comes your way and an opportunity opens up for you that you never thought would happen, and it takes you into a place of greater prosperity and wealth. Your creative endeavors can also bring wealth your way as well. There is 5th house is luck. Excuse my coughing. 5th house is luck from past lives, blessing and good karma from past lives, and then Jupiter is blessing and karma, good karma from past lives. So your store of good karma really opens up now, really blossoms now. It's like, I love oriental lilies, and when you buy oriental lilies from the florist, they're closed, they're not open yet, but as the days go by and they sit in their vase, they open up and their smell fills the whole house and their beautiful flower shines. That's what I'm talking about here. Your good luck is about to open up and blossom for you. It is time. All the luck that you've been building in this lifetime, over past lifetimes, it blooms now. So you're about to get the rewards, the blessing, the beautiful benevolence of everything good that you've fed into your life up until this point. So yes, playing the lottery is worthwhile this year if you want to, do that astrologically and look for good times. Moon in Cancer would be a good time to do so. It's a worthwhile thing to do while Jupiter's in such good dignity in the house of lotteries. But don't forget, there are other ways to use risk-taking to create that good karma for yourself as well. Working as an astrologer, that's a risk-taking career. I never know from week to week what I'm going to be earning. I might get a lot of readings, I might get none. I might get a lot of students, I might get none. It's a risk-taking thing from week to week. So if you're in a risk-taking career, Jupiter can bring a great deal of benevolence and success and prosperity and abundance beyond your wildest dreams to any speculative endeavors, any risk-taking ventures that you're involved in. So this is wonderful, wonderful energy. Now, this is also a time, Jupiter is guru in the 5th house. This is a time, a year when people are going to come to you for advice. People are going to recognize you for your kindness and your goodness. This is a house of teaching. and, as I said, students and teaching. So you can be the teacher, the wisdom giver, the guidance giver. It's also a time of expanding your joy. You're going to have a lot more reasons to be joyful, a lot more reasons to be happy, a lot more good times to enjoy. This is a beautiful, benevolent energy. I can tell you many stories of people who've had Jupiter transit their 5th house and they've seen their prosperity grow, and that's enabled them to do more joyful things, more benevolent, charitable things, more creative things as well. Any careers connected to higher learning can flourish and blossom too. And also your own perspectives are going to become more broad-minded and tolerant and benevolent as well. Now, I have to tell you, Pisces, Jupiter rules many things. So this is the house of romance. You can have so many opportunities for romance, for lovers, for dating, going out for dinner and all the nice things that we like to do when we go out romantically. Lots of opportunities for that sort of thing coming your way. High romance is on the cards for you coming up in the year ahead, Pisces people. Also, you're going to have a greater drive for more pleasure. And this is a house of fun with sex. So you're going to have a lot more joy and good times in the sexual arena as well. Yay! Not only that, if you have an inclination towards children, can I just say, Pisces, this is a great year for falling pregnant and having children, if that's something that you want. So really, Jupiter is in a fertile sign, Cancer, the sign of the family. Jupiter rules children in Vedic astrology, so go for it. This could be your year if you're looking to fall pregnant. Now, this is the house of hobbies as well. So Pisces, your hobbies might take on a more Jupiterian tone. So, you might develop a hobby of traveling or exploring. Looking into different faiths and beliefs might become a hobby for you. Understanding more esoteric wisdom. I know it's funny, coming up to this, I've just started to develop a real interest in Hermeticism. I know all about Hermeticism, but I want to go deeper with Hermeticism and with energy and metaphysics and so forth. So, this is another aspect of Jupiter wanting to take you deeper with your esoteric spiritual knowledge as well. Your hobbies can center around children. You might start collecting children's books and toys and movies or something. Jupiter rules children in the house of children and hobbies. You might start to develop hobbies to do with philosophical studies or connection with gurus or spiritual pursuits like mindfulness, meditation, yoga. All of these sorts of Jupiterian things can become hobbies for you now. Equally, the hobbies that you already have, everybody knows one of my hobbies is to sew. I love sewing and I love gardening. They might actually expand and become more influential in your life, more important in your life, more joyful in your life. Now, Jupiter can expand existing hobbies as well. So lots of fun and benevolence coming your way, Pisces. I'm so happy to tell you. Now, don't forget, Pisces, if you're having your Jupiter return this year, if you've got Jupiter natally in Cancer, it is your Jupiter return year. I have a video at my Patreon family all about the 12th yearly Jupiter return. It happens once every 12 years. This is a huge year in a person's life, and it can see life change drastically for the better. I was blessed when I had my Jupiter return to meet my husband. In my Jupiter return year, I also had an increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way. It was a great year, a highlight year, and apocryphal year in my life. And so if you're about to have your Jupiter return, make sure you check out my video all about Jupiter return, available at the Patreon family page. The link's in the description below. Thank you, Pisces. Moving along now to Aries. Aries rising, Aries sun, Aries moon. People, Jupiter is moving through your 4th house, my beautiful Aries friends. And this is where you're going to start living your truth. It's going to be where you're going to redefine what success is to you now. The 4th house is where you're going to find answers that give meaning to life. The 4th house is where you're going to heal something. Something from the 4th house is going to be healed through this transit. You're going to get lucky in the 4th house area. You're going to find joy in the 4th house area of life. You're going to set things up for your future expansion in the 4th house area. I talk in great depth about all these topics at my Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist. You're going to want to check out Jupiter Transits the 4th house. It's going to tell you in greater depth than I have time to do here what Jupiter's going to do for you through this transit. And I encourage you, when you finish listening to this, check out my Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist. Now, Jupiter is also in Vedic astrology, making a Vedic aspect not only to the 4th house, but to the 10th house. Career can expand and grow and become more abundant. Jupiter is making an aspect to the 8th house. You might get an inheritance or receive some sort of financial blessing from somebody else as a result of this transit. Jupiter is also aspecting your 12th house. Karma and support from the divine and people who've crossed over might be available to you now as well. So many things to talk about here with Jupiter transiting the 4th house. You know, this is a fantastic position, especially for Jupiter being in his exaltation. It's going to give abundance through 4th house things. Jupiter is a planet of abundance in the house of wealth through property, vehicles, emotional happiness. You know, your feelings of groundedness and security are going to expand now. And look, I've just had a Jupiter transit through the 4th house. This did happen for me, but not in any stretch the way it's going to happen for you, my beautiful Aries friends, because Jupiter is exalted here. Jupiter's been debilitated in Gemini for we Pisces people who've just had this transit. So yes, there was a bit of an expansion home-wise. You know, we got a new car. I paid a builder to build a shed for me to store all my stuff in. Things to do with the home and vehicles and so forth did expand, but not in the way, because Jupiter was debilitated in Gemini, not in the way it's going to be for you, Aries people. It's going to be so good. You are going to put down roots and feel secure and stable in life in a way that you haven't known for years. This is also a transit where your parents might provide wisdom and guidance for you. The house of parents, Jupiter is to be a guru. Jupiter is to give, the information and the wisdom. And so your parents, even if they're not kind, wise, benevolent parents ordinarily, listen to what they say to you, because they may just have a grain of insight that could turn your life around. If you are a child with this transit going on, your parents are going to be very benevolent to you for the coming year, unless there are strong, heavy malefics in your natal chart that are causing that to be counteracted in some way. But generally speaking, Jupiter transit the 4th house brings blessing to your parents that ultimately flows on to bless you and your life. If you are a parent, you're going to be a huge blessing to your children, and your family life grows and flourishes and improves. Your home life can also be full of many people, because Jupiter is many, and there might just be lots of people coming and going from your house. Lots of hospitality, lots of people coming around for dinner, lots of family in your home all the time. I just think about that beautiful Italian imagery of the nonna with all the children and all the grandchildren, and that's what it's going to be like, you know. Fabulous energy. It can also mean that your family becomes wealthy and prosperous this year, because Jupiter is wealth and prosperity in the house of family. So for some reason or another, who knows why, your family can become lucky, abundant and prosperous for some reason. You know, maybe because Jupiter is making an aspect to the 8th house of inheritance, maybe your family inherits a chateau in France or something, and suddenly you have all this opportunity that you didn't even know was available to you. You know, you could go live in France if you wanted to. You could sell the property and become wealthy or whatever. There is something prosperous and abundant and expansive that happens to your family this year. You can also succeed and create your own wealth and abundance through investing in property and real estate. You might find that this is a year when you can have a lot of properties. Your home environment should actually take on a more Jupiterian tone in order to channel positive, powerful Jupiter energy into your life. So make your home feel lighter, brighter, more spacious, more open, however you can. You might have to declutter. You might have to, change the furniture around or something like that. Get yourself plenty of space, lots of openness. You might choose to go and live near a cathedral or a university or a place of higher learning or somewhere very cultural. Jupiterian influences around your home can be very expansive this year and very full of blessing for you. Bring lots of spiritual artifacts or spiritual books into your home, and you'll see the Jupiterian expansive energy grow in your life in general. So that might look like, maybe a statue of Buddha or a singing bowl on the mantelpiece or something like that. Some sort of spiritual influence in your home can be very, very beneficial. Now, this is traditionally the house of the mother, but usually we would suggest it's the house of the parent who's more nurturing. Okay, so that may have been your dad. So the parent that was more nurturing, you might notice that this Jupiter energy is affecting them. They might be becoming more generous, more benevolent with you. They might be becoming more spiritual. They might be going and learning new things or going back to university and getting a PhD. They might be becoming more philosophical or religious. They might be moving into an energy of compassion in some way. So you might notice that in your parent, who is the more nurturing parent. You can find purpose and meaning now, my beautiful Aries friends, in family, in heritage, in your roots, in your lineage. So you might be doing a lot of research and really going deeply into where you come from, who you are, what the heritage that you've received from your family line is all about. Now, the fourth house in some areas of astrology does refer to the latter part of life. Now, because this is a Jupiter transit, if you're in the latter part of life, say you're 60 plus, you might find that this is a really benevolent time for you for some reason. You get many properties, or you have a big happy family, or you're really happy in your older age now. You know, you become a bright, bubbly elder person. So that's only for people who are sort of 60 and over, with Jupiter transiting through the fourth house of the latter life. If you're in that stage of latter life, blessing and abundance and prosperity really flows to you simply because you're in that age. For everybody else, it flows to you regarding properties, family, family lineage, and etc., all the things I've just described. So Aries, if you happen to have your Jupiter natally in Cancer, know that this is your Jupiter return year. It's a powerful, powerful year. I have a video all about the Jupiter return, which only happens once every 12 years, available at my Patreon family if you want to check out all the details about this really special year. You know, it's a huge year in a person's life. It can see things change drastically for the better. I was blessed to meet my husband during my Jupiter return, and I was also blessed to see an increase in my finances through a very special opportunity that came my way. So do make sure you check out my video all about the Jupiter return, available at the Patreon family, if you're having your Jupiter return this year. Thank you, Aries. Taurus. Taurus rising, sun and moon people. Well, if you're a Taurus person, you are having Jupiter transit through your third house this year. This is the area of life where you're now going to be living your truth, where you're going to be redefining what success looks like to you in a third house realm. You're going to find answers that are going to give more meaning to your life this year, and you're even going to be able to heal something to do with third house things in your life. You're going to get lucky in that area of life. You're going to have more joy in that area of life, and you're going to set things up for greater future expansion in third house realms. It's such an exciting transit. You know, I do go into greater depth with this whole topic in my Jupiter Transits the Houses playlist. Look for the video, Jupiter Transits the Third House, Taurus. That's the one for you. It's free here on YouTube. Do make sure you check it out after you've listened to this breakdown. Also, Taurus, Jupiter is making a Vedic aspect this year to not only your third house, but to your ninth house, the house of good fortune, expanding and making more opportunities with good fortune and international travel and higher learning available to you. Jupiter is also making a Vedic aspect to your seventh house. Partnership, collaboration, marriage, business events are very important to you this year and can bring blessing your way. Not only that, Jupiter is also making a Vedic aspect to your 11th house. It's a great year for our Taurus friends. You can see great rewards and gains and growth in your dreams and goals and ambitions. But what about Jupiter transiting now through the third house? There's a lot of wealth and abundance that can come to you through third house things this year. Jupiter gives a lot of something. So you could be writing a lot this year, talking a lot this year, producing some sort of communication or social media a lot this year, making a lot of content, doing a lot of advertising, doing a lot of marketing. You can have a lot of small businesses on the go this year as well. You might even have many skills and talents coming to the fore that you didn't even realize you had with this position. Talents come naturally now with Jupiter in exaltation, moving through this area. It's a great time to learn a new language, learn a new instrument, learn some new skill that could bless your life going forward. This makes you also, gives you the energy of being a very likable person because it makes you quite jovial and positive and upbeat in your mental attitude to the world around you and to life in general. And that makes you popular with groups and teams and classmates and relatives. If you run workshops, your workshops can succeed very well this year. If you're giving talks, like on a TED Talk or something, your TED Talks will be well received and popular. Third house is the house of our mindset. And you can have very optimistic thinking, very positive thinking. You might be feeling more funny than usual, very jovial. You can have sort of a more charisma than usual, larger than life personality, really witty. Even if that's not your natural state of being, it comes to you easily this year to be able to do such things. It can also make your mindset very broad-minded. You might be able to communicate easier than ever before. You might feel very generous and kind as well towards third house people, teammates, classmates, neighbors, siblings, relatives, and so on. It can give you a lot of confidence with these types of groups and people as well. It can also increase your friendship circles, and you might suddenly find that you have so many new friends, so many opportunities to hang out and have good times with other people. Jupiter is ceremonies and celebrations, and I do feel that you will enjoy hosting these sorts of things with friends and with relatives. And these are kind of events will just come up and they'll flow and come naturally in your life. You might be getting a lot of invites to such social occasions as well as Jupiter moves through this realm of the chart too. Now, it's a house of sales, and Jupiter is wealth and prosperity. So there can be a lot of financial benefit through sales, PR, advertising, marketing, writing, internet, social media, through your skills, through your talents. Let's say you're a busker, you play saxophone down the street. You're going to get more money in your little saxophone case than ever before with Jupiter's transit through the third house. Also, anything where you use your hands is a third house thing. Hairdressers use their hands, builders and carpenters use their hands, leather workers use their hands, craftsmen use their hands. So you might find that prosperity and abundance in these craftsmanship areas really takes off for you now. You could also have fingers in many pies this year, like literally fingers in many pies. You might be producing pies for a market or something like that. But also, you might just have a lot of busy things going on. I've got a small business running on the side there, a side hustle over there. I'm making pies for the market. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm growing my own veggies and blah, 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 blah. And you're busy, busy, busy. This is the house of being busy. And Jupiter here is going to expand that for you. And of course, all of these fingers in the pies, they're going to grow and grow and grow and grow as this year progresses into such better energy. Now, if you write things, like if you write books or journal articles and so forth, you're going to have a lot more success with such things. You're going to have a lot more sales. You're going to have a lot more publications. You're going to have a lot more websites, seminars, workshops, all these third house things. Now, also, Taurus, your faith, higher-minded ideas, your spirituality. These are going to be topics that you're going to want to write about. Jupiter is philosophies. Jupiter is the law. Jupiter is morality. Jupiter is compassion. And you're going to be thinking about those things, writing about those things. Generosity, you're going to be writing about that. Benevolence, charity, compassion. You're going to be really focusing your mind and your communication around being that way. It's a blessing and it's a gift. It's also a great position for tour guides, especially tour guides to foreign countries, but even short trips and localized tour guides as well. This is a time when you can really flourish and succeed if you are a tour guide, and the tours that you undertake are going to be very popular and successful. Now, do be careful. This is the house of the small details, but Jupiter isn't a small detail planet. Jupiter is the big picture. And so there can be a tendency to overlook the small details in everyday life due to the liking of Jupiter for the big picture thinking, okay? But that's the only thing to be careful of. Jupiter in his exaltation here is going to bring you a great year going ahead. Now, if you happen to have Jupiter natally in Cancer, this is your Jupiter return year. And I have a video all about the Jupiter return available at my Patreon family. This is a huge year in a person's life, and it can see things drastically change for the better when you have your Jupiter return. When I had my Jupiter return, I was blessed to meet my husband, David. And in my Jupiter return, I was also blessed with increase in my finances through a very special opportunity that came my way. So do make sure you check out that video at my Patreon family if you want to know what may be in store for you during your Jupiter return year. You're going to love it. Thank you very much, Taurus. Gemini rising, sun and moon people. Well, Gemini, this is going to be quite the year for you, I have to say. This is a year when Jupiter is transiting your second house, the house of wealth, the house of prosperity, and your resources. Now, this is going to be a time when you start to live your truth in the material realm of life, where you redefine what material success looks like to you. You're going to find answers that give meaning to your life in the material facet of your existence. And you're going to want to heal something materially in your life as well. You can get lucky in material areas. You can find joy in material areas. You're going to set things up for your future material growth and expansion in this coming year as Jupiter moves to his wonderful exaltation sign. If you want to know more about those topics, do check out my Jupiter Through the Houses playlist. It's available free here on YouTube. And check out the Jupiter Transits the Second House video. I go into greater depth and detail there than I have time to do here in this long-range video dealing with all signs, okay? Now, Jupiter, when he is transiting the second house, he's making a Vedic aspect not only to the second house, but to the eighth house of inheritances and wealth from other people, from unearned means. That is going to be expanded and blessed by Jupiter's aspect. Jupiter is also aspecting the sixth house. Your everyday work, your health routines, your diet, your exercise can go through an expansion and a blessing by Jupiter's transit there as well, and a rebalancing. Jupiter is also making a Vedic aspect to the 10th house of career and worldly achievement and public recognition. And so things can really blossom and expand in that area of life for you as well, thanks to Jupiter's Vedic aspect, Gemini. But let's focus now in on Jupiter's transit of the second house. This is an excellent position for growing your wealth, expanding your abundance in the second house. Wherever Jupiter goes, he brings good karma. And Jupiter by transit here is bringing in good karma materially from past lifetimes. So let's say in a past life, you were generous to somebody who was desperately in need and needed compassion and help. And you provided, maybe you bought a home for them, or maybe you bought a car for somebody who was without some form of transportation. That gift, that benevolence, that material blessing that you gave to somebody else comes back to you now. Jupiter in planet of good karma in the house of material prosperity and abundance. It comes back to you. You might receive some form of blessing from somebody else, or just good karma coming your way materially because you were a good person to somebody else in the past. You can make money with Jupiter transiting the second house as well, but you might also spend more money. I have to tell you, when I had Jupiter transit my second house not so long ago, I spent so much money, but it was all good. I had the money to spend, and I was preparing a wedding and organizing my wedding, and so I really went to town. It was a wedding on a budget. Believe me, it was a wedding on a budget, but the universe blessed me with I bought all this china from thrift stores and everything to use in the wedding reception, and now I have this wonderful hoard of glorious old china, beautiful chinaware with floral embellishment and so on. Stunning old china. And all these different sets in different beautiful colors and everything. And, the second house is to collect something, to store something. And so during Jupiter's transit of my second house, I bought all this stuff. And now I have this beautiful collection of beautiful antique china from thrift stores and so forth. So yes, you can spend more money, but it's joyful, I don't regret for a second that I bought all this beautiful china that we'll use in my children's weddings and 18th and 21st and so on in our family going forward. So yes, you can make more money and you'll have more money, but you can also spend more money, but you'll do so with joy and happiness and delight. You won't be fighting or striving for money because you'll have a belief system, a value system that says the universe is abundant. And because you believe that way, because you have a mindset that is Jupiterian, you will succeed more in that area of life. You'll have more abundance to share. Now, if you don't have an abundance mindset, then Jupiter's got his work cut out for him when he transits the second house, because he's going to have to first change your mindset to a more abundance perspective so that then the abundance can come. Instead of, if you're cultivating an abundance mindset already, then Jupiter's move in here just brings the abundance in. But if he's got to change the mindset first, then you're not going to get the abundance as quickly, okay? So work on changing your mindset if you have a poverty mentality. Try to see the universe as a place of benevolence, There is more than enough for everyone in every field of life, in food, in relationships, in products and homes and cars and everything that you need for life. The universe is abundant. The gods give abundantly. It's only man that thinks there is austerity and limitation. The gods don't think that way. So change your mindset and you will receive more in this year of your life, beautiful Gemini friends. The universe is going to multiply according to the abundance mindset that you have. So if your family, let's say, has taught you that, life is limited, then you're going to have to reset that mindset. I've already talked about that. But if your family has taught you that your resources are abundant, then you're going to have a more generous outlook on life and be more giving, more benevolent, more Jupiterian with what you have. You'll be happy when you see other people with money. You will celebrate prosperity that you see all around you. You'll be more optimistic about prosperity coming to you. You'll be positive. You'll be upbeat about financial matters and aesthetics and resources, as I said, and that will attract more to you. Now, just watch out. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so, just less likely to be the case than if Jupiter was in detriment. But Jupiter can sometimes make you too generous. You might overestimate your financial situation or be too greedy or gluttonous with second house things, too much good decadent food and you put on a ton of weight, or too extravagant in some way, the budget goes out the window and suddenly you're in debt. You don't want that to happen. So be conscious, be aware, be grounded in what you're doing. You might get very philosophical about resources and money. You might start to sort of research the philosophy of abundance. Hopefully no one gets into the prosperity gospel stuff, because that is it's wounding, I'll just say, the prosperity gospel. If you're... Just to talk a little bit about that, I perhaps should mention a little bit about that, but because it is... it's touted as a spiritual mindset. It's not a spiritual mindset. It's saying if you are rich, it's because you are right with God. Now, there are plenty of people, if you look at who's the wealthiest in the world, there are plenty of people who are not right with God, who are exploiting others, who are abusing others, who are mean bastards, who are super wealthy. So you cannot say that prosperity gospel means you're right with God. If you're prosperous, you're right with God. But it is true that if you want to attract more success and happiness and joy and prosperity into your life, you need to have the right heart attitude and the right mindset. So that is the case. But just because you're wealthy does not mean that you're right with God or that you have the right approach to life, okay? It's kind of a dual railway. You've got one system running on one railway line and another system on another railway line, okay? So cultivate your own healthy mindset to financial matters. Don't buy into the prosperity gospel, which says if you have money, you're right with God, because that's not often the case, Okay, so you can make money through Jupiterian sources now, through foreign languages, through philosophy, other cultures, academia, faith, belief, spirituality. They can be sources now of prosperity and growth and abundance for you. And if you're looking to increase your abundance, bring those things into your life in some way. Be careful of overeating. This is a house of what we eat, and food is a resource that supports our journey through life. Jupiter rules rich, fatty foods. And, if you have too much of that, you might start storing fat on your body and end up fatter than what you want to be. So forewarned, forearmed there. And of course, Jupiter can expand your resources. So let's say you upgrade your car, or you upgrade to a better house, or you upgrade to a nicer couch, or a trendier rug or something. Jupiter brings bigger and better So whatever resources that you have in life that you're wanting to grow and expand, this is the good karma coming your way that's going to help you increase and make better the resources that you have. Now, beautiful Gemini friends, if you have Jupiter in Cancer natally, this is your Jupiter return year. It happens once every 12 years, and it's a huge year in a person's life. It can see things change drastically for the better. You know, when I had my Jupiter return, I met my husband, and I was blessed with an increase in finances through a special opportunity that came my way. So if you are having your Jupiter return, make sure you check out a video that I have all about the Jupiter return available at my Patreon family, so you know how to work with this energy and what's in store for you in your Jupiter return year. The link to the Patreon family is in the description below. My friends, that is Jupiter through all the houses coming up in the next year. I hope this video is a blessing to you as you are a blessing to me. May we all be blessed with Jupiter in exaltation this year.